like that?
Bro,
Are you angling it like that?
It's you.
Okay.
That I
Singer. Check.
With.
Sing it, dude.
at the end.
Do it again.
Have you seen that one? I sent that
No.
one to you, right?
Yeah.
It's,
Oh.
oh, bro, it's you that I vibe with as the Jaeger bomb drops in.
The Jaeger bomb.
What?
You gotta send that to the. All right. Are we all good to go?
Wait, there's something in my eyeball.
Is everyone's volume okay?
Is it your eyeball?
No, how can my eyeball be in my eyeball?
This is the Always More podcast.
Hello and hello. It is July 7th, and welcome to the Always More podcast, where we believe there is always more room at the table for honest questions, meaningful conversations, and a deeper understanding. Today on the pod, we are talking about Bo Burnham, lint traps, jobs that let you yell at people, crisp salads, Generation Z, and so much more. I am your co-host, Tim Lichty, and sitting across from me today is my best friend in the whole entire world, Christopher Thomas Ford. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing all right. Running behind, running on CPT just as usual, but, you know, c'est la vie.
Chris, you remind me a lot of my days as a youth pastor, because whenever I wanted parents to pick up their kids, if I wanted them to pick them up at 7, I would say, hey, guys, we're done at 6:30. And that's how it usually works. And so I predicted that.
Is that what you did to me today?
Yeah, absolutely it is. I predicted that
That's
we're going to
fair.
start at 2:30, and look at it's 2:23. And
So we're ahead of schedule. You're welcome.
I shouldn't have told you the secret, actually, because now you know that. And so you're going to assume.
Just randomize the times. Just like sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 45 minutes, and I'll get there when I get there.
You get there when you get there. Okay, well, hey, look, guys, today is a special day because sitting next to me as well, we have 2 special guests. Really excited. Chris, are you excited?
I'm a little bit excited.
All right, that's what I thought. We have to my direct left, Tierra Newbig, soon to be Bailey.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
That's so strange to hear.
Uh-oh.
And then sitting to her left, we have Harley Bianco.
Which is my right.
Boozled.
Yes.
You're right, yes. And so
My
if you're
right.
watching this on YouTube, this all makes sense. But if you're not, and that's fine, you do you. You listen on the podcast. We love you on the podcast. I mean,
Correct.
this is mostly a podcast. This is a podcast.
It is a podcast. It's definitely named the Always More podcast.
I guess it is.
We just put it on YouTube for posterity.
Yeah, right. So, my friends, how are y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty vibing. You know the vibes.
Just cooling and booling.
Anything new? Anything weird, different, crazy in y'all's life? I mean, introduce yourselves a little bit. You know, who are you?
As a
Wow.
person.
That's
Yeah.
Oh,
a
I don't
lot
even know who
on
I
a
am. Wait.
Monday morning. What is this? Monday afternoon?
Yeah.
That's a heavy question.
On a Monday?
On a Monday. Yeah. It's kind of early to ask that, too. It's 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like early in your life.
That
I
too.
mean, yes.
Like, what
Y'all
am
are
I?
young, so it's like, I don't know who I am.
Yes.
You know,
Also true.
I feel like I'm going to be old, though, and still like, oh, my God, who am I? What am I doing? So
I'm going to talk to my
Look.
grandkids, and I'm like, you know the vibes.
Y'all are going to be some weird old people for sure.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm looking
For
forward
sure.
to that, I think.
Yes.
I mean, personally, I've been senile since I was 5, so I'm just waiting to catch up with it. That's fine.
Guys, okay, so today we have an amazing podcast for you all today. We're going to do our normal stuff, and then in the middle, our main topic, we're going to talk about Generation Z, which is y'all's generation, because you guys were born in that time frame. What years were y'all born?
2000.
99.
Yep. Yeah.
Right there. So y'all are the elder Zoomers.
Yes.
Correct.
I thought the elders were like 96.
You see, I got into an argument with my sister about that the other day because she was born in 96, and she's like, no, I'm a millennial.
No, she's not. She is absolutely not. Nope. Mm-mm. No.
So we had an argument about that. And
You
so,
don't get to be a 90s kid unless you remember Bambino.
Bambino.
That's my favorite movie.
It's your favorite movie?
Yeah.
Oof, I don't know
Sandlot.
that.
All right, I take it back. You don't get to be a 90s kid unless you remember new episodes of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, that's
That's not fair.
Oh.
That's not fair.
That's how time works.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair. Then you die.
Life
You know,
isn't.
Very true.
Who said that Chris could like pick the rules though? Like, why are you speaking for all millennials?
Because I'm the king of millennials.
Okay.
Wow.
What year were you born?
Was there a competition?
92.
92.
Aren't you older than him?
Yeah, 91.
Dang.
So he's the king of millennials.
No, he's just older.
Because he's
Look, we had an election. I won, and then they were like, "We're gonna depose you since you won that election." And I was like, "Nah, we don't do depositions anymore. I'm king now. No longer president. I'm king."
There was some illegal voting,
So
all
we
that kind of
switched
stuff
to a
happened, so we just gave it
monarchy?
to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, we overthrew
I
the
thought we
government.
left
There was
that.
a dynasty. No, we left it, but we came back.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
okay. Makes sense.
There and back again.
Yeah. Usually history repeats itself, so
You know,
it
yeah.
makes sense.
I like that. That was a nice Tolkien reference.
All right, guys. Well, hey, let's move forward with our show because we have a lot to cover today, which is really cool. And today we're going to start off with our Rec and Rev, which is our recommendations and reviews of the week. You guys are feeling it. You guys are seeing all the flaws today.
Nice.
All the stuff we edit out, you get to see it all.
I'm
Yeah.
so
Oh, this is
excited. I
awesome.
can't wait to contribute to
These
it as well.
podcasts actually, typically we record them. It's about 4 hours long, and then Tim just cuts out most of it.
How do you edit 4 hours worth of?
I don't know. Okay.
Try.
It's mostly just cutting out me. That's how he does it. Just
All
like
right.
anytime Chris is talking, we'll cut here and here. There's an hour gone.
There was that rant over there. All right, reviews and recommendations of the week. Let's let our guests go first. So this is the time of the pod where we talk about something that we liked, that we thought was really cool, and that we recommend to people. So Harley, what do you have? I pointed at you, Tier,
Yeah, I
but I
was
said
like-
Harley. Harley, what do you have?
Okay, so I have it's a little what would you call it? Special Inside by Bo Burnham on
Oh,
Netflix.
I have not watched it yet. I
haven't
need
either.
to.
Watch it,
Need to.
please.
I know.
Oh,
I don't even
it's
know what it's
so
about
good.
though. Like,
It's
what is
literally chaos, pure chaos the entire
You're
time.
not on that
Sounds
side
like
of
me.
TikTok then.
it? No. I see
Well,
Harley's
look
posts
who's
about it.
inside
Okay,
again.
so
And that's
I
about
need
it.
you to tell me then, what is it like to be mentally stable?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that is all I see on my TikTok
Seriously?
is Bo Burnham's inside.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
Well,
Thank you.
I guess it feels good to be a little mentally stable.
Never really thought about it.
Yes.
So tell us about it.
So it's essentially like, I don't want to say it's like a musical, but it's literally just him talking occasionally. Really sad, those parts where he is
That's what
having
I've heard.
a conversation. And then the rest of it is like songs that he makes, like in this room where he's alone and it's just him. And the end kind of has like this weird twist on it. I don't know. It's just really, you just got to watch it.
What did you think about bras for?
Oh, that was a different one of his specials.
That was
Oh.
another one of his.
That was
I was gonna say,
Really
that's the one.
depressing.
That's the one that I've seen the most is the one with the bra, or like you don't have to wear a bra. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah. That one's a bop.
I
It's
mean,
a bop.
He's a bop.
And they're right. I don't have to wear a bra.
Correct.
valid.
All right. Tiara, what you got?
So, my recommendation is
I gotta change that direction real quick. Unless I want to edit another hour, I gotta change that real quick.
it's like topic change. We didn't even get to Gen
Change
Z
the whole
topics.
podcast.
What you got, T?
So my recommendation is In the Heights.
Hey.
I like musicals, but I'm not like obsessed with musicals. But I think this is one of the first musicals that I've been pretty obsessed with. I watched it like 2 weeks ago, and since the first time I watched it 2 weeks ago, I've watched it maybe like 4 more times.
Wow.
And that doesn't really happen with musicals because they're excessive, and
Yeah.
I don't really vibe with that. I mean, the last one I've watched was like High School Musical, and that's classics.
Wow.
That doesn't
But
count.
other than
That's
that, I haven't like watched a musical that many times and still
Wow.
been like into it. I don't know the words yet, so
Yet.
but eventually
Have
I'll
you
learn
seen
all the
You
words.
will. No, I haven't actually seen this one. I'm still hung up on Hamilton.
Yes.
And that's mostly my daughter's fault because she is almost 2 and obsessed with Hamilton.
She is my absolute favorite person on this planet.
She's beautiful.
I think.
Aw, mine too.
I still haven't
Wow.
seen your daughter.
Janelle posted a photo of her yesterday or like a few hours
The
ago.
one with the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
Aw.
drinking a smoothie and she just got like this attitude and she was like, this smoothie is the best. And then she like stared into the soul. It was,
Yeah.
Ah.
She's beautiful.
she's great.
She's the best.
She's great. All right, Chris, you go next.
All right, so my Rec and Rev is actually also based on my daughter. So we'll keep talking about her because I love it. No, her favorite movie right now is Ponyo,
Hey.
which is an old school Studio Ghibli. It's like 2005, I think.
I love Ponyo. Oh my god, I
Right?
forgot about it.
It's so good.
It's so cute.
Oh man, I love it to death. It's one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies, which is the anime basically equivalent of Disney. So they run all these like really wholesome anime stories, typically about little kids like finding their own power and things like that.
Yeah.
And Ellie absolutely loves Ponyo. It's about a little girl who is also a fish. Started out as a fish, got to taste human blood through a weird circumstance. It wasn't like a creepy thing though.
You sure?
Yeah, like the so this
It's like
kid,
one way to put it, I guess.
this kid finds her and she's like stuck in a jar, so he tries to break the jar, cuts his thumb, and she just licks it to make him feel better. That's all it is. But she uses that and her newfound magical power to become a human herself, and she has to navigate the difference between the two worlds. It's pretty cool. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
It's
Check
cute.
it out if you haven't seen it.
It's way
Ponyo,
cuter.
It's on HBO Max now, HBO Max, or you can buy Ponyo literally anywhere. It's
Yeah.
super great.
It's cuter
she-
than it sounds.
She licked blood.
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to sit here and tell me you have not licked blood once in your life?
Ew.
I liked my own blood.
Yes,
You're,
but no one else's.
you're going to sit here and tell me that somebody hasn't been bleeding near you and you haven't just been like,
I think that's how.
I'm sorry. Say that one more
Is that
time
like
for me.
cannibalism?
it's
Say that-
only cannibalism if they press charges.
What's
No.
the next thing on the podcast?
Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna move forward because this is okay. My recommendation of the week is this little movie by Pixar called Luca.
Hey.
Wow.
Okay, so I was
haven't
telling
seen it.
Harley and Tiara earlier. Wait, you haven't seen it yet?
Nope, it's on my
Stop
list.
it.
Oh, okay. So my kids, and just like any toddler or anyone young like that, you put on a brand new movie, they're most likely not going to be like.
That's
paying
why I
attention.
haven't seen it. My daughter will not watch new movies.
Right. This movie, I put it on for like in the middle of the day, just like, hey, why not? They loved it. They stared at it. And Arya, ever since then, has not stopped asking to watch Luca. So, long story short, this story is about, oh man. So, you guys ever like notice whenever you start recording yourself that you say things a lot over and over again and you don't
Yes.
notice it until you listen to yourself?
Long story short.
Long story short.
Yeah.
So the part of this, the main part of this story is you have these sea monsters in this little, not port. Well, it is, I guess, a port. This little Italian town, seaport. No, it's not a seaport. It's not a port. What is it? It's a little sea town.
The only word I can think of right now is shanty, and I know that's not it.
No, this little town on the seaside, on the ocean side, whatever. And these
A
little
villa.
Huh?
A villa.
A villa. There you go. And these sea monsters live in the water, obviously, but whenever they come out of the water, they can transform into a human, look just like a human, whatever. And so it's about this little Italian sea monster boy who comes out with his best friend Alberto, and they basically explore the city. And there's a lot of story that I don't want to spoil, but it's amazing. It's beautiful. As an Italian, it's really fun to see all the words come out and all the fun phrases that is now all over TikTok, like what's wrong with you, stupido, and silencio, Bruno, and all these other fun words. And so
It's cute.
it's fun. It's fun. For you guys that are not watching, I'm putting up the Italian hands. The what do you?
There's like the emoji. There's an emoji for
Oh,
it
absolutely.
now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Kiss.
oh, oui, oui. No, that's French. Wait.
Wow.
Don't they do it too, though?
I don't know.
No.
I don't care about the French.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow.
Gonna have to cut that out.
French are fine, I guess.
Viva la resistance.
I mean, it didn't, but all right. Not very good at revolutions. Anyway,
All right, let's move on with the show. I'm the tangent this time. All right, for our next segment, it is I don't know who needed to hear this, but Chris, we're going to start off with you.
I don't know who needed to hear this, but you're allowed to peacefully protest however you want.
Preach it.
Period.
Preach it.
I would argue that probably makes you more of an American.
Preach it.
You're following the First Amendment, which is the one before the gun thing that
Yep.
everybody loves.
Yep.
So as long as you're not hurting anybody, you can peacefully protest however you want. It's guaranteed in the Bill of Rights.
What's ironic to me is when people complain about people, peacefully protesting, whether it's at the Olympics, or the
Specifically the Olympics this week, but yes.
yeah, NFL, whatever it is. What's so ironic is people tend to forget this is how we became a nation,
Yeah.
by protesting and revolting and
Yeah, but let's be honest, Tim. It was white people doing it.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. I agree.
I love that one. That was good.
That was a really good one.
All right.
Thanks.
I'm going to do this one. I don't know who needed to hear this, but off-brand was a term created by branded companies to make their cheaper competitors look bad.
Wow.
So,
Capitalism.
Capitalism.
Oh, yes.
So
Classes.
the reason why I
Love
say this
that.
is don't look at cheaper alternatives as lower quality or knockoffs necessarily, but see them as a competitor. Some often are actually better than the branded version. Not all the time. There's obviously some really horrible knockoffs,
Yeah.
but there's also some really good ones.
Fruity
Off-brand
Dino-Bites.
Cheetos.
No, off-brand Cheetos are the worst.
No,
Off-brand
off-brand Cheetos are
the
so
worst.
good. Oreos,
Whoa.
ew.
Off-brand Oreos are the worst.
First of all, I
But
barely like Oreos, like name brand.
Whoa.
Don't kill me, but I
Oh my
don't
gosh.
anymore. I think I just overloaded it when I was younger, so it's not like exhausting. Plus, my fiance Jordan, he eats Oreos like every day, so
That's
Well,
because he's a
Jordan's
good man.
okay.
Jordan's got good taste.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
okay. Well,
Yeah, you're gonna
off-brand
challenge his
Cheetos.
taste.
Anyways, no, he has great taste, obviously. Point is, off-brand Cheetos are so good, and I prefer them over regular Cheetos.
No,
But not hot Cheetos. Off-brand hot Cheetos are disgusting. Like,
I don't think I've
Vomit in a
even
bag.
had those.
don't
ever
waste
see,
your
You ever
taste
see
bud
Rhett
time.
and Link when they do, like, they actually have a game called, like, Name That On Brand, and they, like, line up the one, like, it's you can't see, obviously, you can't see what brand it is, but it's like Cheetos, and they have, like, 4 different Cheetos, the on brand, but then, like, you have one from Walmart, one from H-E-B, one from whatever.
That sounds cool.
It is, and they've actually, on a few times, gone, like, they liked a different version better, and so I'm actually curious to try that out.
Maybe we should do that for game day or something.
Let's do it.
Oh my God, but you know what's disgusting? Like, no off-brand company can ever pull it off. Sour cream and onion chips.
Oh, I don't like sour
Really?
cream and onion, period.
You know what?
Okay, see,
I-
no, you're going to attack
No,
me
no,
for
no.
Oreos, but he doesn't like sour cream and onion.
Lay's does it best.
No, Lay's for
1,000%. But there are a few that are all right. Like
Like
in
what?
a pinch. Like the Pringles versions.
Ew.
If you get
I like
those.
the
Those
Ruffles,
are decent, but I like the cheddar Pringles
There
better.
are some from Aldi that are like, they feel like they have wax on them, but the taste is there.
Mm.
So they'll do in a pinch if you can't find Lay's. But outside of that,
Wax.
Wasn't it like a few weeks ago when sour cream and onion chips were literally just like disappeared off the face of the planet for a little bit? Like,
That was a
Yeah.
thing?
yeah.
there was like a time,
'Cause
and
those
the
are, like,
world
my
was going
favorite chips.
crazy. Like everybody
Those
was
are
like,
my
"Where are
favorite
the
chips,"
Lay's
and I
sour
couldn't
cream?"
find 'em.
Yeah, it was really bad, and I think I was having like a party or something that
What?
day,
Didn't
so I
affect me.
didn't.
Nope.
It was, oh my God, it was terrible.
Just don't mess with my hot Cheetos.
All right.
Yeah.
What's
Ooh,
it like to
period.
have chip privilege, Tim?
Oh,
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's move on. Tiara, you're up next. I don't know
Okay,
who
sorry,
needed to
I
hear
forgot.
This.
I forgot.
This is
What,
a segment.
I
The
didn't.
chip thing just upset her so
I did.
much.
I was like super on the Lays for a moment. But anyways, I don't know who needed to hear this, but waking up early does not make you a productive person.
My wife needs to hear that.
Because
Preach.
that's like such the thing right now is like productivity and like, you know, wake up early to start your day, get as much done as you can
Yeah.
so that you can be on top. And I really hate that because just because you wake up early doesn't make you any better than anybody else. Like people who stay up late can be just as productive as somebody who wakes up early, or somebody
Yeah.
who is only up for maybe like 8 hours of the day. I don't know if that's possible, but 8 hours
God,
of the
I
day
wish.
can utilize those 8 hours as well as possible and still be more productive than somebody who probably wakes up and is up for like 16 hours or something
Yeah.
like that. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm just really tired of that because it's so, it makes everybody so like stressed. Like, oh, if I don't wake up at this time, or I'm not as good as this person because like they have their life together. They get up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym every day. And it's like, no, you don't have to do that.
Who is it? Isn't it like Mark Wahlberg who like has that huge like crazy routine where he wakes up at like 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym and then he goes to bed at like 7 o'clock.
That's ridiculous.
That's a lot of people, but I hate them all for it. So.
Like, no. And you go through like stages in life too. Like there was a time in high school where it was super easy for me to get up at like 5:30, go to the gym, you know, do my day at school, go home, do homework, go to bed at like 10
Yeah.
and be fine. But now like I'm 21 years old and that sucks. Like I can't get up past like 9 a.m. is the earliest I can probably get up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 8 a.m.s next semester, and I think I'm going to snap my neck. Like, I'm not excited at all. I can't
That was a
do it.
mistake.
I know. Every day. Every
That's the
day,
worst.
too.
All right, Harley, last one up. What you got?
I don't know who needed to hear this, but empty the lint trap in your dryer, or your house might catch on fire.
My wife needs to hear this.
Apparently, somehow
rhymed.
I ended up on this weird side of TikTok, as always, as one does. And you can like pay people or you can do it yourself. But the outside access to like the lint trap, you're supposed to
Oh, yeah,
clean that
yeah.
part too. not just the dryer part, but the actual part that's like in your house. And like there's like videos of people just like spinning this thing and all of this lint is flying out and it's absolutely disgusting. But apparently it leads to a lot of house fires. So.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that at least like once every 3 or 4 months or something like that.
Yeah, like a couple times a year. And I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never done it in my 30 years of living.
Well,
So-
it's a good thing you rent.
Good point. All right, guys, we are moving on with our segment into
What did I miss? Yeah.
Ah, that's so good.
All right, I'm going to start this one. All right, how would you like to get paid for yelling at people?
I get paid for yelling at people all the time.
I would love to.
I actually don't like yelling at people very much.
Okay, so working from home has been like a new thing, like a really big thing ever since COVID hit, and is basically, made us into new people, and it's created new jobs. And there's this new CCTV company that is hiring people to watch out for potential troublemakers and robbers at convenience stores. So here's how it works. You're online, you're on your computer at home, and you're basically just watching convenience stores through their security cameras.
Creepy.
It is. But then whenever someone comes in that's like trying to steal something or trying to rob the place, you get to yell at them. Like, hey guys, I'm here. I'm calling the cops. Get out, or something like that. You can just start yelling at them. And it's actually helped. Like, there's been videos of they start yelling at them and the people are like, they look up.
Through like the cameras?
Yeah.
You know where else you can do that? With a Vivint smart home security system.
Oh my gosh.
You walked into that one right there. That was awesome.
But yeah, so it's a new company, Live Eye Surveillance. That's the company that's doing it if you're actually looking for a job, I believe they're hiring people right now. So if you want to get paid to yell at people through your computer at home, go look it up.
That's pretty cool.
Sounds fun.
I just imagine that happening in like Korea or something.
Yeah.
I think it's where actually the company is like somewhere from Asia, but they're starting to bring it here to the Americas.
Oh.
Nice.
You're like yelling at people in like a 7-Eleven. They're like
Yeah.
trying to grab like a corn dog. You're like, hey.
You gonna pay for that? Yes.
They're like, God? Is that you?
All right, Chris, what you got, man?
All right. So 2 Florida men decided to fight God with a fishing rod and won.
Please continue.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Just
All right. So a pair of Florida men said that they felt lucky to be alive and uninjured. Uninjured is the impressive part.
Yep.
After their fishing pole was struck by lightning while they were on a boat. I'm going to butcher the name, but it's Sam Baduris, I think, and Marlon Munoz said that they were fishing in
Yep.
Calashahatachi River near Fort Myers in Florida.
yeah.
When they saw a storm approaching and they started packing up their equipment, but then the rain hadn't started and lightning just struck,
Oh my god.
Wow.
hit the fishing pole, went through everything, hit them, didn't injure them at all, went into the boat, blew one of the engines.
Oh my
Both of the engines, actually. But they got one of the engines working and they were able to get back home. No injuries, nothing. They were perfectly fine. They fought God with a fishing rod and won.
Wow.
Wow.
It's impressive.
Right?
Florida man.
I'm like, wow, just
Florida.
another day in Florida.
Florida man. Exactly.
Florida man.
Exactly. They need like a
is
theme song.
bonkers.
It's always Florida man.
Oh, we should make one up. We should make a Florida themed song and put it on TikTok and become famous and become rich and live off of that.
Yes.
I like it.
I mean, if we do that once, we're going to have to do it like 1,000 times. But we could do a series like each state.
Each state has a song?
Yeah.
51 songs.
There's 50 states.
Oh, why did I say 51? Oh.
Puerto Rico. DC?
I mean,
Or DC's trying to become a state.
oh,
Trying
that's
to.
true.
DC and Puerto Rico, I think. Well, Puerto Rico doesn't.
Maybe it's
They don't
want
want
to be a
No,
state.
they don't.
We're
They
trying
keep
to
voting
make
not
them,
to.
and they're like, nah.
understandable.
good.
We see what
Understandable.
you have going on there, and we value you. But no.
Harley, what you got up for us?
So you can use Monopoly money to go to a bar.
Done.
Do tell.
Yeah. So basically, in Massachusetts,
Oh.
so you got to travel some distance, unless you live there. Then I guess that's
Trying to figure out
beneficial.
the math if it's worth it going up there.
No, Tim, it's not. If I have to leave town, it's not worth it.
You're like getting yelled at by somebody with like a Boston accent. You're like, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Was not worth the $5 Monopoly dollars.
No. But this place called Ralph's Tavern. I don't know how to say the place because everything on the New England coast I can never pronounce.
Oh yeah.
Worcester.
Worcester?
Worcester.
Worcestershire.
Yes.
Worcestershire.
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 Massachusetts. Say that customers visiting, I don't know the day, they never released it, but from 4 to 6 p.m. can actually use, I'm assuming every day maybe, can use Monopoly money to like get in. They can use it for like food, like hot dogs and stuff like that. And it's basically so this like little tavern can be included in their like localized version of Monopoly.
Ah.
What the?
So
Wait, are you telling me that they have like a real life game of Monopoly happening in this town?
Like I can go down to Boardwalk and I can go down
Give
to
me the
like,
railroad.
Park Place.
I guess that's just capitalism, so I guess it's just America.
That's
I mean, that's what it's based on.
Well,
That's cool though. Monopoly money.
Yes. I mean, you can't use it, sadly, for alcoholic beverages.
Oh, well, that's the point.
Yeah,
then
it's
what's-
kind of
You can't call it a bar then.
no.
bar and grill.
But you can get non-alcoholic
a
Jello
concession
shots.
Here's the
stand.
question though: can you use the modern Monopoly debit cards,
Oh.
or does it just have to be the paper money?
You'll have to go to Ralph's and ask. I'm not quite sure.
I'll
But
just
maybe
call.
they just like
I'll just call.
insert
call
your
them.
chip.
All right, last one up. T, what you got for us?
Okay, guys, get this.
I got it.
You can rent a pirate ship on the Mississippi with Airbnb.
Come on.
What?
No, I'm
Yes.
so serious. According to this article,
Is it a haunted pirate ship?
it doesn't say,
Darn.
but it's a 20-meter long pirate ship. It can hold up to 20 people. But you have to pay extra if it's more than 7 people. So that's kind of how they get you. But it has all the like I guess amenities or whatever it's called of an actual pirate ship.
That's cool.
And it has Wi-Fi.
And what?
Oh.
Okay, that's
What are the amenities of a pirate ship?
Scurvy?
cannon?
That was quick. I like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah.
Cool.
And there's even pirates on it. No, I'm just kidding.
That doesn't sound safe.
You hang out with pirates.
I
You
don't
get
want
your
that.
own parrot?
Ooh,
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
that'd be
you
cool.
do.
I want a monkey.
It's a mess.
Oh.
Monkey.
But like, do you want like a...
The
We
theater
named the monkey
monkeys.
Jack. Like that. No, nobody. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes. Like
I mean,
the-
yeah, I
wasn't
got
he
it.
like dead? He was like partially dead or
Kinda.
something?
I mean, he was cursed for sure.
He was like a zombie
Yeah,
monkey.
they're all cursed.
Yeah. Sucks to suck.
See, that's why staff of pirate ships. Not worth the what is it, $250 a night?
I don't know.
Oh.
I didn't read the full article, to be honest, guys.
I
Come on,
didn't
T.
either. It's fine.
I don't know. Ships kind of scare me. Like,
Why
I don't
the
even, I don't even wanna
Mississippi
go on a
as well?
cruise.
Chris doesn't want to get on the water at all, so that's a no for him.
I like
Oh,
swimming.
do you have that fear of like
Uh,
deep water?
Yeah, whatever
What is
that's
it?
called.
It's like starts with a T, I think.
There's so much in the ocean, guys.
Trypophobia or something.
I'm
We're
telling
worried
you,
about
sea
aliens, but I'm
monsters.
There's
convinced.
just as many
Yeah.
like deadly things on land as there is in the ocean.
No, but they're 10
Yeah,
times
but on
bigger.
land I can see them coming.
Sometimes
And you can like run away from them faster.
if it's dark, no.
You can run away faster from a buffalo or from a bear.
Okay, there's easier getaway
100%
things.
I can run faster than I can swim.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly. Like they have the advantage. They have fins. Like you can't. Your little feet and your toes can't do nothing. You're dead.
I mean, yeah, true. Like we're kind of like made for land. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Also,
we have
yes.
a, we
also
have
the
the slight
things,
advantage
the
there.
things that are in the water like to play with your body.
oh, like
Ew.
minnows.
Like sharks,
What?
they'll grab you and then keep swimming while they just hold you. They're not eating. They're just hold. You haven't seen the people in like Jaws when they're like,
That's a movie.
it's
No,
based on real
no.
events.
Yeah.
Okay, a bear will play with you just as much as a shark will.
Yeah, but a bear's gonna kill you and then play with your body.
It can do both. How do you know?
I would prefer to be dead. I would
No,
prefer
Is that
to
a
be
shark
dead.
statement? Or are you talking about?
No, wait. I would prefer.
She actually hasn't been listening to this conversation at all. She was just thinking out loud.
Let's talk about this, Harley.
It's the mental illness. Sorry. Sorry. But no, genuinely, yes. I would prefer to already be a goner than have it still be
Like-
alive and it's like just dragging me
or-
around.
Or like if it does decide to like rip off a leg, sure, we'll say that it rips off a leg and it leaves me alone.
Yeah.
On land, I can get somewhere. In the water, I'm just gonna die.
Yeah,
I
you're
would
just gonna
drown,
sit there and
I
drown.
don't want to drown.
With missing limbs.
and possibly attract
what are you
another
doing out
shark.
in the middle of the ocean on your own anyways?
I'm not going in the middle
You
of the
can
ocean.
get
That's the
stranded.
point.
You can fall off the cruise
That's
ship.
the point.
Titanic.
I'm not going in the
Titanic.
ocean.
They
I'm just
all
waiting.
fell off.
I'm just waiting for Titanic to happen again. Like, come on.
I'm not.
There's
I'm
so
not
many-
waiting.
I mean, not like I'm
That's
not
happened.
excited about it, but I'm not going to be on the ocean, so I ain't going to die. But like,
True that.
You know, there's just humans are not capable of making things happen all the time. So
All right, fair enough.
There you go.
Fair
All right,
enough.
well, that was a fun What Did I Miss? But up next, we have a fun segment, or not a segment, it's a main topic of Generation Z with our friends Harley and Tira. So let's move forward.
Yeah.
All right. And we are back.
Back we are.
Back. All right, guys. Today we have a fun topic. So today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is the very complex subject of generations. Chris and I are part of Generation Y, or better known as millennials.
Whoop, whoop.
And so the word, depending on who you are, can very easily be a trigger word that brings up videos of older men on the news complaining about how spoiled we are. But we're not talking about us today, but rather we are talking about the newest generation to reach adulthood, Generation Z. Gen Z, being defined as being born after 1995 by most research, has several other names that they have been called, such as the selfie generation, iGen, post-millennials, and more. But regardless of what they are called, they have quite a few unique attributes that are exclusive to them and completely separate from all other generations prior. Did I say something?
No, it's just
this
a lot
is a
of
lot.
detail.
Like I didn't even know this about
I didn't
myself.
think we were that special.
I know
are
the
that
Z.
special.
That's actually one of the qualities of Gen Zers is like y'all don't think very highly of yourselves
Wow.
Yeah.
across the board.
Well, I know the Z stands for sexy, like sexy, but
But with a Z.
a little zestier.
When you said
It's
post-millennials-
zestier than sexy.
You never heard that before?
No, it made me think of Post Malone.
Post-millennial.
Oh.
Well, we still exist in the same time as him, so I guess.
Yeah.
But we were born after him, so maybe.
I think
Oh, what
he's a
is he?
millennial.
He's like 20 something.
So he's a
No way.
He's like,
He's a Gen Zer.
no.
I thought
Is he?
homie was scratching 30.
I'm Googling
Look,
it.
here's the
grown.
thing. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I'm not even done
Harley's
with my notes
faster
yet.
at Googling.
Here's the
They're-
thing.
They're faster at
is
Googling.
you feel like you are 18 years old all the time as you get older, right, Chris?
No.
What do you feel like?
I feel like I'm 78.
You know,
you're,
yeah.
you're,
Is it
you're
'cause
the
of your
exception to
knees?
the rule. You-
And my back
You know.
but
and my
men-
mind,
But mentally, you feel like you're like, oh, I'm.
my disdain for kids.
Here, Chris, help me out, bro. You feel like you're young. Like I look at TV and I look at soccer players playing. I'm like, oh, look at those older guys, and I realize they're younger than me. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
That may just be because we haven't made it yet, though.
that's true.
So once we start making some serious money off of this podcast, when people start going to buymeacoffee.com,
Yeah, shameless plug.
shameless plug, hashtag rockstars need money.
Please, we need money. Yeah. All right. So let me continue with my notes. Chris and I have some experience with this tech-savvy generation. Chris has been a parent to one for a few years, and we both have taught and led them in church services, groups, and camps. I personally have had the privilege to pastor this generation in the past, and it's a part of the reason as to why we have these two special guests with us today, as I have pastored them both during their teens, and now I've been it's been privileged to witness them now as their young adult lives. And so today, Harley and Tierra, we are talking about your generation.
Wow.
Love it.
Chris, let's start this off with a fun little segment for them. Go ahead and introduce it, my friend.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to describe an old item.
Okay.
Oh God.
An old item. It's items that we've actually used.
Okay.
And you guys have to tell us what they are.
Okay.
You have to explain it in detail.
Oh.
Like
okay.
you can't just kind of go like off the whim, like, oh, it's just that. No, you like, what did it do?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
What did
okay.
it do?
Fail.
Okay,
this
so
is
wait,
good.
are we just saying what the item is and they have to tell us?
Yeah, so we say what's
Okay.
on there, and they have to describe what it
Oh,
is.
see, I thought it was the other way
I
around.
didn't look at.
Don't cheat.
I didn't look at your notes.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought we were going to describe
No,
it
no,
and
no,
they
no.
have to tell us. Okay, that's even more fun.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I don't like that,
Let's do
actually.
this. All right. So first up on the list, what is a Walkman?
Oh, that's
That's
a
the
DVD
CD
thing.
Yeah, it's the one that you can hold though.
DVD. I said
and
DVD.
you plug it in.
CD.
And you can, literally, it's like an
and you
iPod
put
for old people,
headphones,
but it's a CD.
and you can clip it onto your belt, and you used to walk around
Yeah,
with it.
and that was your music, but you only had the music on that one CD. So
All right.
But
so,
you carry around a whole disc
of
case.
CDs.
So I've never hit a kid before. No, CD players.
I knew this was going to be fun.
CD players actually came after Walkmans.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
it's a-
there was
it's a
something
tape.
before that.
Yeah,
It's a
cassette.
tape.
Oh.
It used to play cassette tapes.
Yeah.
So you would put it in, it would read the music off or the statements, the books, whatever you wanted to put on it, but the audio off of like cellophane
Yeah.
like old school projector
Yeah.
at a theater, but it was doing the audio.
That's actually much better than a CD.
You had to rewind it. If your tape got caught or cut, you would lose all of your music. It was
like a
gone.
VHS.
So
how you
y'all just like
rewind
walked
it.
around like middle school with those?
Well, by the time we got to middle school, it did turn to CDs, I think.
Yeah, middle school it was CDs. A
little bit before that.
It was like late to early elementary school
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
Or late to mid elementary school for us that CDs started coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always like 5 years behind tech anyway
Yeah.
because my brother is 12 years older than me and my parents live like 20 years in the past.
Mm.
So I still had a Walkman up until like 6th or 7th grade.
So can you like make your own, I guess, tapes
Yeah,
with your
mixtape.
own
You
stuff? on it?
can.
So that's where it's like, hey, girl, I made you this mixtape.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and that's where the term mixtape came from because you would sit by your radio and you would record onto a cassette tape, a blank cassette tape, or you would record over a cassette. And you would just have to listen as it was playing from the radio. So I'm sure like you guys have noticed when you duet something on TikTok, the audio gets worse and worse as the duets go. That's how recording music was for us.
Oh, so like when we had flip phones and you wanted a ringtone, but you didn't want to pay for it, so you record it.
Oh.
My flip phone couldn't do that.
Well,
Yeah, that was a later
few
flip
generations
phone.
later, yeah.
interesting.
Tired of y'all. Already I'm mad. Already I'm mad. All right, next thing on the list. Yellow pages.
Oh, the back of the phone book.
I thought that was the whole phone book though, because they're
I
all
thought it
yellow.
was- oh, I guess.
It was
So,
actually the front of the phone book.
Oh.
Like the cover or like a table of contents.
No.
Isn't it like the phone directory?
Okay, so
Wait,
do
do
you,
phone books have tables of no, they're ads. There's ads,
There's
right?
ads, yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was all the businesses and all the ads,
Yeah.
Okay,
and
see,
all of the
I'm
phone numbers to
thinking of the
contact
back part with all the
businesses and
numbers.
corporate numbers and things like that in your area. And then the white pages were in the back, which was all of the
Yay.
people's phone numbers,
Yeah.
all the normal.
They were
homes.
actually different colors, like
Yeah.
yellow and white.
I remember my dad used to get them and like they would just be vibing in the living room and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna call
Yeah.
this person.
I remember
know,
that too.
I never
Like at my
did.
grandparents' house, they had a couple.
Yeah.
And I would like just go through them and play games. Like, let me connect you to so and so. But I didn't know how that worked. Real people.
We used to have like as our house phone because my dad's older generation. So our house phone was actually one of the turn phones.
Oh,
The rotary dial.
rotary,
yeah.
That's cool. It's called a rotary. Hold on.
It rotates.
What? Like a rotisserie?
No,
No.
like a
Rotisserie.
like a rotating.
Because it spins like a. It makes sense. Y'all are
Oh my
lame.
gosh.
Y'all are lame. It makes sense. Rotisserie spin.
Tira, you're
Rotary
something else.
Spin.
All right, this next one is near and dear to my heart.
I almost forgot about it until I looked it up again.
How could you?
No, it flushed back and all in like it like as soon as I saw it, I was like,
It's like an unlocked
Yeah,
memory.
yeah.
Okay.
Pogs.
No.
Hold up. Let me think. Just give me a second.
One more time, Pogs.
Pogs. Is it a toy?
Because when I think of Pogs in this generation, I
Yeah,
think it's like
a
some
very
gamer
different
thing. Some like, I don't know
It
what the
sounds like-
actual acronym means.
Like a dongle?
It's not
It
a-
would be in the dongle family.
That sounds explicit.
dongle.
Wait, do you guys know what a dongle is? Though?
Yeah, absolutely. Because
Okay.
we are not boomers. We've also used dongles.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
have
some
no
people
idea what
don't.
that
They're
is.
like, "What? What did you just call me?" And I'm like, "It's a dongle." And Pog sounds like it would be in the dongle family.
So there are these little cardboard discs basically, and they had like printed images on them. But I don't know why it was such a big deal. But it was like currency back when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Like you would trade them for like different images of different whether
It's
it was
like
shows or
Kind of a
characters.
mix between trading cards and marbles. Like you could
Oh.
trade them, you could play for keeps, you could play your game. It was basically like a board game type thing where you would have pogs there and they would all just be like sitting in a position and then you'd throw your pog down on top of it and try to flip them. You flip them, you get to keep them.
Yeah. All right. So Chris, I saved this last one for you because I'm pretty sure you introduced this to me.
Did I?
I think so.
Did I?
I wouldn't be surprised if you did.
If I did, I'm so sorry
oh gosh.
because this ruined a
So
lot.
many.
a
Don't.
lot.
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
LimeWire.
Oh yeah, the illegal way to get music off the internet.
Hey, hey. All right.
I used it, so
Did you?
I did.
So
I didn't know that one.
How fast did you get rid of your computer?
Well, we had like the big, huge dinosaur computer, and it was pretty thick. But it was mostly my brothers who did it.
Yeah.
So
That would make sense.
Yeah.
So, Chris, explain it.
So LimeWire was a file sharing program that you could get on the internet and download music, movies, pictures, whatever, anything that anybody else had on their computer and wanted to share, you could download for it. A lot of the time, people would, for whatever reason, upload viruses just for fun, for kicks and
To be
giggles.
jerks.
Yeah.
It would 100% ruin your computer
Yeah.
over time. If you
yeah,
if
I
you
don't.
didn't have a computer lost to LimeWire, you didn't live.
No,
I think that actually occurred to us.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I lost
Not
two.
me.
Yeah.
Two
Two?
computers. Yes, a laptop and a
Jeez.
desktop.
Yeah, if it doesn't
Wow.
kill it, it at least slows it down a lot. So,
Yeah, I think
And
that's what
there was a
happened.
lot of stuff on there that you did not want to download. Like you would download it and immediately you're like, nope, delete. That is not what I was looking for.
Oh my gosh.
All right, guys. Well, that was our fun little game for y'all today. Thank you for participating, and that was just as I expected. There were some good ones that you knew and some that you didn't. So that was.
I'm-
We did pretty good.
I'm proud of myself,
Yeah.
considering
I was
the
impressed.
circumstances.
I was impressed.
I'm a little mad. Not gonna lie.
Can you pog?
That,
Pogs.
that
Pogs.
Walkman got me. That was
The Walkman.
it's little CDs. Okay, so to get things started, I wanted to get y'all's opinions on what others think about you as a generation. So, because I'm sure you guys, I mean, us included, I'm sure there's some misconceptions that we think about your generation that might be a little off. And so, what are some commonly held beliefs that about your generation that you passionately disagree with? Maybe some stigmas, taboos, something that you hear a lot from older generations talk about your generation, but you feel is wrong.
That we're spoiled.
Oh my God. Yes.
And it's like, you guys, you gave it to us. You did that. You
Yeah.
literally set us up for this, and now you're mad because we have the things that you wanted us to have. Oh, my bad. Sorry, Gramps.
Yeah,
It's all my fault now.
that one's always gotten to me because they say that about us too. So yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you.
I think school is a big one. Like people not going to school as much. Oh, I think our generation, we don't go to school as much because literally the internet hands you everything that you could ever want.
You talking about higher education?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like college.
Yeah.
And so if you're like, oh, I'm only going to get an associate's or I'm not going to go to college or I'm dropping out of college, it's literally like the end of the world to
Yeah.
people. When in reality, I can learn more. I am in college right now and I learn more outside of school than I ever have in a class. And
Right.
that sucks. Like I'm paying for nothing.
Right.
And it's also expensive. Like, y'all screwed us over.
Yeah, no, that sucks.
You really did. And now you're like, oh, you're not going to school. You're doing nothing with your life.
If you don't have college debt, then you suck. And it's like,
Yeah.
why would I want to be in debt for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
You know, like you guys are, I mean, I don't know if you guys are, but millennials are still paying off college debt for like years. And I'm like, I don't want to
Yeah.
live that life. That sucks.
I am not personally, but I think my wife still is.
I'm in debt already.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Thank God.
That's why I went to CTC first, and I was like, 'cause at least I can pay that off pretty quickly, and I did. So luckily, I don't have any either. But yeah, so many of my friends they have so much debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
rough.
I don't know the stats. I should have looked that up. But yeah, the percentage of it, in which it rose over the past 50 years is
Like thousands.
Yeah,
It's in the
skyrocketed.
thousands.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Any other thoughts? Any other things? Yeah, we feel that too. I think that's kind of a not to
that's a
point out any
disconnect.
generation,
That's
but
a disconnect between the boomers and Gen Xers
mhm,
that hit millennials, and now it's like
trickle down.
smashing into Gen Z.
Yeah.
It's not even trickle down. It's like
Just got
they're
punched in
getting the
throat.
hard part of it.
Yeah.
So
All right, Chris, go for this next one, brother.
all right. So whereas millennials have been referred to as digital pioneers, which means basically we made all the stuff that you guys are using. So
Thank
you're
you.
welcome for that.
Appreciate it.
Gen Z has been dubbed the first digital natives. So, like, you guys grew up with it. You've never known a day without the tech. What would you say have been some of the benefits of being born into a world of the internet with fast technology and maybe some of the negative consequences that also affect you?
School projects.
What?
Please
I don't have to go to
explain.
the, I don't have to go to the library.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's no like, oh my God, I hate projects. And this is the thing I hate about college too. I just love bashing college, but I'm in college. But professors who are like, you cannot use the internet for this project. You have to go and get it out of books. I'm like, why are you limiting our resources in order to grow our minds? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sucks. I'm so sorry you guys had to like go into the library and study for hours and look through books to find stuff for a research
I mean,
paper.
I actually enjoyed it, but it's so much easier to use the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, truthfully, it's so much
It helps
easier.
me to procrastinate. I do projects in like a day.
No, yeah. Yeah, if you actually put your mind to it, you can get things done pretty quickly.
Nice.
I mean, I work at a library, so I'm like, oh, I see, like, it would be great to, use those kinds of resources because it's kind of like a dying thing because of, like, the internet. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to spend that effort looking through thousands of history
That's
books.
exhausting.
I
and
work
slam
at a
my head
library.
in
I don't want to also spend time there.
it. Like, I spend enough. It's okay.
Would you say, like, looking at some of the older generations, millennials included, that you wish that we would catch up with things that, we would be more in tune with when it comes to technology that you guys seem to have already a handle on?
It doesn't really bother me. It's, go ahead, take this.
I mean, I would say because for some of my professors, English, for some of my professors, obviously they're all like PhDs and they're super smart, but they're also old. So they do have like the mindset of still being stuck in the past on some things. And so I'm like, hey, like another thing that makes me so angry is they're like, you need to get primary sources. How?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to get that on like the internet? And they're like, all of your resources have to be like internet based. And I'm like, first of all, how are we supposed to get primary sources based off of that? Like, that's not even possible because most of the time we don't even have access to that. And if we want to get access, we have to email and like ask the authors of like those certain things or like the people who publish those things on the internet because they're not just available anymore.
Right.
And so it's just very frustrating. And then if like they want like a physical thing, like a book, half the time resources around us don't have that.
Yeah.
So it's just difficult. I'm like, can you secondary, please?
Yeah.
Just secondary. That'd
So
be great.
they don't really adapt to the necessities of the times.
Yeah.
Like, basically, they tell you have to do it this way, but this way is no longer effective.
Yes.
And there's no reason for you to do it that way. So they just kind of need to catch up. Like,
Yes.
I will do what you're asking me to do, but let me figure out a different way to do it.
All right, so switching gears a little bit, last year Pew Research revealed that Gen Z in America is more racially and ethnically diverse than all other generations. Celebrating?
Yeah.
Okay. Where am I? Sorry, Chris, you distracted me, as always. They're more racially and ethnically diverse in all other generations, and now white people make up 52% of the population compared to millennials, 61%.
Hallelujah.
So,
I'm sorry, but it's time to pass the baton.
my question to you guys is: have you ever have you felt this? Have you experienced this, like in school and college or whatever? Have you ever kind of noticed that, like, hey, this looks different than with the adults, with the millennials, boomers, whatever? Like, have you ever like seen that kind of or felt that kind of difference? Like, oh yeah, my high school was a lot more diverse than.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, even just growing up, like, where we live, like, I grew up around so many different, like, kinds of, like, people and, like, cultures and et cetera. And then even just going to my college, white people everywhere. And that felt like a culture shock as a white person, which was weird.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I've never seen this many goddamn white people in my life. But one thing I did notice is, like, I mean, aside from, like, middle school maybe and, like, high school, in my elementary school, lots of white women as my teachers. But, like, I mean, all of my, like, peers were, like, people of different races. But it was, like, those above us were all the same.
Yeah.
And that was just something that was really interesting.
Welcome to the world. Those above you will always be the same.
Gross.
Brody.
How about you, Sue?
I mean, I think Harley kind of hit it on the head. Like, we live in a military town. So I grew up, first of all, for a long time, because I was raised by the white side of my family. But I grew up in a very diverse school system and city and all of that. And so it wasn't weird for me to see a lot of white people, but it also wasn't weird for me to be around a bunch of people that look like me.
Right.
Now, I do know I went through like a time where I was younger where I had a hard time
Relating to the black side of you?
figuring out who I was really took a long time for me to do because there was no like
Same.
role model. And like, so I was trying to figure out where I fit in, but, I don't know where I'm going with this, but like, I know. It's just like, it wasn't so much of a culture shock. I think more of a culture shock was when we started traveling outside of where we live.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, like there's groups of certain colors of people. Like, what is this?
Right.
You know, not even just white people, but like if you go to a certain state, there's majority black people. Or if there's, you go to a, you know, a certain city and there's like a bunch of Hispanics live in this community. Like I didn't know that existed.
Right. Well,
And
let me ask you this then: as you grew up, and especially being exposed to the internet and being exposed to those different places, did you find it kind of shocking to kind of realize? And I know this is kind of Chris's story in a way, kind of seeing those other cultures and seeing those other realities of like, oh, you can exist like this, or you can behave like this, or look like a certain way. Were there any kind of moments like that you kind of remember, like, oh, yeah, I can be different than all these white people?
Yeah. I think honestly, maybe it was slightly the opposite.
I thought that was
I know,
yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Next question.
well, no, because like growing up in a diverse thing, I was like, okay, everybody can be like anybody. Like it's different. But then as I got older, people are like, okay, well, who are you? And I'm like, well, I'm this, and I'm also this, and I'm also this. And they were like, no, like pick one. And I'm like,
Yeah, they don't like that.
no, like I'm all of them. And so that was really weird for people like who grew up in like one specific community.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you? Like, are you like us or are you like them? And I'm kind of like, I'm everybody. Like,
Yeah.
so that was the weird thing. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I guess I agree. I don't know. It's just that's how it is.
Yeah.
Diversity is weird, bro.
So how do y'all feel like this is starting to play out in, because obviously you saw it in school, but how do you feel like this might affect like America at large? Like how do you feel like now that there's more diversity in your generation, do you kind of sense that making a bigger impact into y'all's belief systems, into the way you guys interact with one another? You know, I think of us millennials, we have a pretty large age gap. Like the older millennials compared to us younger millennials, it's pretty big. Like I think the older millennials are born like 1980, I think, or something around those lines. And so that's like at least a 10-year gap. So do you guys kind of feel like this sense of unity among Gen Zers of like, yeah, most of us are collectively, you know, a little bit more diverse and we kind of understand that? Or I don't know, I'm trying to say here, but do you feel a more collectiveness with that?
Yeah, I don't want to like speak for everybody in like the Gen Z because it's completely different experiences and lifestyles for everyone.
Well, see, that statement right there just kind of shows the differences between the generations.
Straight up.
Because older generations, millennials included, are like, nah, I'm pretty sure I've got a grasp on how everybody feels.
Yeah. Interesting.
No, no. We forbid that.
No. But that's like the thing. I think as a generation, we understand that so many people go through different experiences, especially as like different races and cultures and across like the United States and even just the world. Like for me personally, I like understand so many different like movements, like the Black Lives Matter movement and like indigenous peoples and like those kinds of things and like the Stop Asian Hate. And like, I think as a generation, we understand like those are really important now. And we put those off for like so long. And we're the ones who are kind of like, hey, let's like change this. Like, we can't just sit by and like let this exist anymore. Like, it's just not right.
Do you guys feel like there's more of a consensus between, because like I feel like online there's like these two different modes of like when it comes to your generation. I feel like when I'm with people that I know, and I guess that's just based on where you're at, but when I'm with people I know, we seem to have a little bit more of a general like understanding for one another. Like, you know, if Chris and I hang out with other millennials, we have like a general understanding and agree a lot on the same things. But whenever we go online, it feels like, what are these other millennials thinking? But do you guys feel opposite of that? Because I noticed even when I was leaving high school, I remember like there's this more accepting, more diverse generation behind me that was already coming up. Like I remember the freshmen just being really weird, but in a good way, and like just very diverse, very opening. So do you guys feel like there's a different tribe, so to speak, out there that is different? Or do you guys feel like, yeah, we pretty much all kind of think the same way or kind of understand each other?
I think I don't know, that kind of goes back into like the whole like other people still have so many like different thoughts and feelings because you can go to like a really small town in Texas and they're all white and racist and bigot.
Yeah, it still exists
and
in our generation.
But I can say like, especially the things that I witness online and with all of my friends, like we do have like a general like commonality of like understanding each other and like coming from like the same thoughts and beliefs. I guess.
Yeah, plus I think our generation's just really good at learning about it, even if we don't understand like maybe a certain culture or a certain type of people, we're more open to being like, okay, well, teach me about this.
Yeah.
Like, why are you like this? You know, like who raised you to be like this? How come I'm not like you? Rather than being like, oh, you're different, get out of my face. Like, you know, it's different that way. So even though there are like, I guess tribes, different tribes and stuff, we have I don't want to speak for people, but like, I think it's easier for us to get to a certain understanding, even if we're not already at an understanding.
Well, the reason why I ask this is because, at least from my perspective, I see y'all's generation as more of that you said it right, I think perfectly, is you guys seem to be more of, even if you don't understand, you're more open to trying to understand compared to all other generations. You seem to be like, okay, I don't see it that way, but tell me, why do you see it that way? And for like even our generation, especially the older millennials, it's not that way.
Would you guys say that has to do with being so connected digitally? Like having so much access to...
Probably. That would make sense.
Sure. Because you're not secluded to what is in your area.
Yeah.
You literally can see
the world.
All of the world.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but helpful.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that.
So this is actually a good segue into this next topic, because I believe this is one of the things that Gen Z actually, I really love Generation Z about this, is one of the more forefront themes to arise because of y'all's generation, for better or worse, is the very real topic of mental health. And so Gen Z, unfortunately, has been called the loneliest generation, as much of their time online has harbored feelings for solitude and even depression. So the question is... or let me say it like this: for older generation, mental health might have been commonly belittled, or something that weak people need to do, or something that they need to fix with a religious solution. How do you guys feel like y'all as a whole kind of think about it?
Well, geez. Well, even when, oh gosh, when I was like in middle school and I was like, I'm feeling not so great with my brain. And my dad was like, oh, you're fine. Like, no biggie. And he's like, he's boomer. And he was like, no, you're fine. Like, all is well. You're going to be great. And I was like, okay. And just kind of like sat there and dealt with it. But as I've gotten older, the mental illness has gotten worse, obviously. But it's so much more talked about now. And like, that's so good, I think. But I don't think that would be the case if it wasn't for like younger millennials, because they're the ones who I see on like, or like even just like my teachers and stuff. And they would be like, go talk to somebody, like get help, because we suffer through these kinds of things, and having to deal with like our parents being like, oh, you're fine, nothing's wrong with you. But being like, there is something wrong with me. We don't want the next generation to deal with that. And I think that's really important. And so that's why it's more of like an open topic now. And like people do discuss it more because of like you guys and like
you're welcome.
Thank you, actually. Thank you. So
yeah,
that's how I feel about that.
That's good. You got anything on that?
Not really. I mean, I do not.
Tier's mentally stable, so it's fine.
I don't want to say it like that, but I mean, I don't think I suffer from that. I know a lot of people who do, though. So
one of the things I've noticed about Gen Z is that your coping mechanisms are a lot better than ours were as millennials, because most millennials have boomer parents. And most Gen Zers, your parents are like Gen X, or you're more exposed to the younger millennials like that, like Harley was saying. So your coping mechanisms, you've taken what we have tried to figure out and mastered them. Like, you guys know, like, if I do need therapy, I can find a therapist.
Yeah.
I can talk to somebody. I don't have to go through this alone. Meanwhile, we're like, I mean, it's free to tell yourself it'd be like that sometimes. So it's one of those things where it's like, we walked so that you guys could run. Can you teach us how to run, please?
I feel like we're just jogging, though. Like, we haven't even ran. There's still a lot of things that we're trying to figure out, and it's like,
oh, for sure.
How the flip do we handle this? But
well, I think that's the beauty about y'all's generation is y'all accept that. Y'all accept that, hey, we have so much to learn.
It's not a stigma for you guys like it was for us.
Yeah. But it's also frustrating because I feel like since our generations ahead of it, I mean, besides millennial, or like, I guess the younger millennials, however you want to put that, but there's not a lot of people above us who have handled situations. So honestly, I'm just really tired of figuring things out. Like, you know, there's some basis of like, here's how it goes. But then there's other things where I'm like, why? Like, this is
good luck.
This
Yeah.
this is new, and so
Well, in the way that you guys were digital natives, I feel like you guys are in millennials were the digital pioneers. I feel like you guys are the mental health pioneers. I feel like y'all's generation is going to be really good at teaching your kids and just people younger than you how to
Teaching my kids.
how to handle
kid.
mental health. And I remember I purposely now, and I recognize that, Harley, what you said earlier about us younger millennials, it's something that I don't want my kids to deal with. I don't want them to deal with mental stress all the time. I teach my daughter that, hey, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay if you want to skip that part of the movie. It's okay if that hurt you and you want to talk about that. If not, we can change the channel. We can do whatever. And so,
Yeah, to be honest, a lot of my parenting techniques that I use now are from Gen Zers. Like, there are things that Gen Z is like, hey, my parents did this and I didn't like it.
yeah.
And they have the verbiage to say that. So now I'm like, okay, well, I
do
never
that.
thought to do
Right.
that because my parents did it to me and I was fine. But now I'm like, am I fine? I'm not. So I'm learning a lot from your generation on how to parent my daughter, who is Gen Alpha, technically.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Ooh.
So y'all got another one coming up
Alpha.
after
Why
you.
does Alpha sound cooler than Gen Z?
Because
Like,
it is.
okay, all right.
Drinkies.
Oh, Chris, handle this next one, brother.
All right. So one of the misconceptions from older generations is that Gen Z is lazy. And
Oh my god.
I'm glad that you guys talked about that because it was in our notes.
so that you guys aren't fiscally responsible. But according to many of the statistics that we found, it seems to be the exact opposite.
Period. I was literally going to say that.
Yeah. So now, hear me,
Listening.
because it's all based on personal experience with like one or two Gen Zers that these people form their opinions. How would you fix that? Because like according to Josh Miller, we're realists and pragmatists. Josh Miller, I'm assuming, is Gen Z.
Yeah, he was 18 or 16 when he wrote this.
Yeah. So he said, we are realists and pragmatists who view work primarily as a way to make a living rather than as a main source of meaning and purpose in our lives. So obviously we prefer to operate in an enjoyable environment, but financial stability takes precedence. XYZ University, is that a thing?
I think so.
Cool. Discovered that 2 in 3 Gen Zers would rather have a job that offers financial stability than one they enjoy. That's the opposite of millennials who generally prioritize finding a job that is more fulfilling over one that simply pays the bills. I know y'all are still young and in college, but how do y'all feel about that?
I think it's the opposite
Yeah, same. I disagree.
because, I mean, obviously there are some people that I do know who just try to get a job to get money because they think that will bring them joy, which sure, but the bucks, the monies will give you all the things you want, whatever.
For a little bit.
Yeah, but if anything, I remember growing up and they were like, you need to find something that's going to pay well so you will be happy. And I'm like, no, I want to find something that will make me happy. And I just happened to get paid.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was more of like a commonality because even with like peers that I would talk to, they would be like, oh, I want to go into this, like nursing. I know a lot of nursing people and they're like, I want to go into nursing because I actually care. And I want to make sure like the healthcare system is like better in like a better shape than I got into it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just noticed that's just kind of how it is with most people.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this, because a lot of what that article was talking about was how y'all grew up in the Great Recession, and so as kids, anyways, we were a little bit older in high school when that happened, but and so what that usually translated to was y'all's generation observing that millennial parents were a little bit more, or not millennial, but the parents at the time were a little bit more hoarding with money, and so it kind of bled onto some of the other Generation Zers. But so let me ask you guys this: do you feel like, yes, you try to search for your passion, but do you also kind of think fiscally? You want to also just be mindful of your finances a little bit more than, I don't know, millennials or whoever?
I think that falls into the fact, well, for me personally, I'll say for me instead of the whole entire generation. But when I was younger and in school, I was like taught, like, value the things that you have because, you don't know when you're going to get more of it.
It could all be taken away. at any
Yeah,
point.
pretty much. So yeah, like take care of your things. And when you take care of your things, that was like the concept in our house was like, if you take care of your things, that's when you are blessed with new things or better things.
Yeah.
And so I was always taught like, okay, well, what I have, even the small things I need to take care of, I need to keep and treasure so that I can have like better things in the future. I can still have these things in the future. And so when I was younger, that mindset, my mindset with that was like, okay, I'm frustrated. I want to be rich and I want to have all this money so I can have all these big things. But as I got older and kind of experienced the world, I realized that the big things are not really what drives me anymore. It's more, I just want to have things that make me happy. And like, you don't need a lot of money to live a successful life. Right. And you don't need all of these huge houses. Like, you know, people are going broke trying to like buy these huge houses and lots of land and all of this stuff that they don't need. It's going to not be a big deal anymore. Like trends are a huge thing now. Not a huge thing, but like trends are like people like hop on the trends all the time and they're wasting their money on all these like trends. And then it's not a thing anymore. It's like, well, we have all of this junk, you know,
like Pogs.
Straight up.
like Pogs. And so for me personally, it's more like I don't need things. I'd rather just have enough, you know, and then I'll still have enough money to live a good life because I'm not wasting it on all of this unnecessary stuff. Oh. And so that's, I think, where I stand with like things and like money and finances and living a good life. Because then you don't need to be a doctor or a lawyer or stuff. You don't need all this money because what are you going to do with it if you're not buying all this unnecessary stuff?
I think that's another thing about our generation is we're angry at the people who have all this money because what do you need it?
No,
what
seriously.
Do you need it for?
And you're not even using it to help other people. Like I think the thing about like our generation is we're trying to focus on how can we build everybody up as a unit rather than just ourselves. And then everybody above us is like, okay, well, I need to have all this money. I need to be the best doctor, the best.
I earned this.
Whatever.
And,
Yeah, pretty much. Like everybody else is going to suffer because this is what I worked for.
You can see that in the way that people help each other as well. Because like with millennials, we're like, okay, if I become a billionaire, I can do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
But with Gen Zers, you're like, why do we need billionaires?
In the first place.
How about everybody just has
billionaires are the problem.
enough to pay
Get rid of
rent?
capitalism.
Like,
take it down.
It's ridiculous.
It's a weird like hero complex that older generations have.
Yes.
Where it's like it's either all about me or how I can help someone.
Yeah.
And you
It's
guys are like,
selfish.
how can we all help each other?
Yes.
And I love that about Gen Z.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things about you guys.
And then people who are like that are usually like happier with their life.
Yeah.
Like billionaires, they're not even happy people. They're jerks. And
Yeah,
you have money,
Jeff
you have
Bezos
everything.
just got a divorce.
Exactly. It's like, what is good about your life
And Bill
besides the
Gates.
fact that you have a bunch of money? You know, like nothing.
All right, next question. What are some of the things that you guys might have noticed coming from your generation since the pandemic hit? Some things that maybe caught you by surprise, or things that you go, oh yeah, I definitely feel this, or I recognize this, or because I remember just like because TikTok is the Gen Z thing.
Yeah.
Like, millennials are on it, but
Millennials made it.
True, but you guys definitely are kind of like I think the forefront of it.
Well,
and
TikTok used to be
This is
Musical.ly.
mine's now.
Yup. TikTok used to be this app called like Musical.ly.
I remember seeing the ads for that on Facebook, and it was always like the weird music, like
And they're like moving like this.
The transitions.
yeah.
Yep,
And I
yep.
was like, I'm not doing this. This is
Yeah.
weird.
I did
I'm
not
not
even know
signing
that.
up for that.
Yes.
wow.
And
It was a little strange.
And then during the pandemic, I was like, I guess I'll sign up for TikTok. I'll see what it's about. And now I'm like, hey, have you seen this TikTok?
Yes. Yes.
So anything that, because I mean, obviously the pandemic hit all of us, but you guys are the more digital, natives, and so you guys are a little bit more into it. So have you guys noticed any kind of trends, any kind of observations that you guys really were into or not into? It can be serious or not, but
Being away from people.
Yes. And self-care.
It was kind of cool. Anyways. But the concept of like online school being a more common thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because even when I was like in middle and high school, obviously people would go to like things like pathways schools and stuff like that, where it was just like credit schools, I guess, just to like hurry up and graduate. And you could do those online. But even in like college, we were doing like, Zoom,
Zoom.
Zoomers
Zoom.
or whatever. But that became like more of a popular thing, like
Yeah.
to be able to virtually view your class. And I thought that was a really cool concept. I mean, obviously it doesn't work for everybody, but
Yeah.
there is people that it does work for, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
It did not work for my oldest. He did not enjoy it. He's 18. So we probably should have had him on the show, too.
Should have. Why didn't you think of that?
I did. You said we were just going to do the two of them.
You did
Women
not.
are
You
better.
did not
I
say
definitely told you.
Amen.
Women.
about him coming in.
Yeah, I was like, we should do Tyler, too. And you were like, no, I don't even like Tyler.
Oh, whatever.
Sorry, Tyler.
No, just kidding. But he did not enjoy the digital school stuff. He did it. He got it done, but he did not enjoy it.
It also doesn't help if you have like ADHD.
Which
Oh my God.
I'm fairly certain he does. It's definitely undiagnosed, but yeah.
Me too. It's okay.
There are
It's
times
really
where I
common.
think I have ADHD, but I don't know.
I think it's a lot more
Then
common
I drink coffee.
than
I'm fine.
people.
Can I just tell myself it'd be that way sometimes?
No, really though,
Like,
like
it
it
do be
is
like
what it
that.
is.
It is what it is. All
If
right.
I could focus for an hour, that's all I need.
Just take some Adderall. Yeah, right.
It's great.
Don't take Adderall without a prescription, please.
Please, please.
No, wait, I had an answer for this
please, go
question though. I said self-care, but like self-care. TikTok showed me all of these different things that I didn't even know I was supposed to be doing for myself. That, you know, like I just didn't really value myself. Like, and I thought I did. I was like, oh, I'm a great person. I encourage myself in my head every day. And I, you know, I go to sleep and I eat food. Like I'm caring for myself. But there's so much more deeper things now, like that I never even knew was like self-care. Like I was just like, oh, that's just extra. You're pampering yourself or whatever. You know, like you don't have to do these things. But when I was in the pandemic and you're sitting on your bed and you don't know what to do for the next 5 hours, is you get into like little hobbies and little things like, I don't know. I can't even think of examples right now. But like candles. Oh my gosh. Like I love candles. And I was on, oh my God, I was on candle TikTok for a little bit during the pandemic. And there's like all these different tools for candles and like how to care for your candle. First of all, what?
How to
like
care for your candle. I love
Yeah.
that.
yeah, like
my wife is all about
ridiculous
it.
stuff.
Like-
and like, you know, reading certain things is self-care. Like, you know, eating certain things or going on walks or just the little things, you know, and I was like, that's just extra stuff.
Walks are amazing.
Making moon water. I don't know if you guys have. If
Oh,
you guys
yeah,
are
like on a full moon?
witchy TikTok. or any of
Yes.
that.
Oh, I
So
heard about
I'm,
that.
Yes,
I'm
yes, yes.
definitely not, but my wife is. So
Your wife is awesome.
I help her. Like I'll fill the jar with water sometimes, and
What?
then we put it outside in the moon, and then we also have like sun water. So you fill a different jar, and I'm not allowed to touch them. I don't know what they do, but I know they're important.
Wow.
So-
I heard about that, but I didn't really like read into
It's like
it. So that's
spiritual
interesting.
kind of.
It is.
That's cool.
Which is weird because as a Native American, like you would think that I would be the more
yeah.
spiritual
Yeah.
one, but she's the one that's like, hey, this is something I want to practice, and I know you're Native. Would it bother you personally? And I'm like, oh, actually no, and I'll get into it with her, and it's
That's
it's
cool.
really nice. That's how we get into candles and stuff. So,
That's awesome.
I have like a seance.
no, not a seance. I'll mess with ghosts and demons. That stuff is real, and it is here.
Didn't y'all
but
have
Yeah,
a thing on your other podcast about
about
that?
ghosts.
Yeah, the ghosts episode.
yeah,
Nice.
I'll do it.
Oh my gosh, guys! And then rocks, like
Rocks. I have
stones
so many
and
rocks in my
energy.
house.
Crystals.
Crystals,
yeah.
that's what it is. First of
Yeah,
all,
your wife's getting my wife into that.
Yeah, sorry.
that stuff is so interesting to me. You know, that like, and it makes sense because like we are on the earth and the earth provides us energy. Like there's so many
We
other
are the
ways
earth.
besides, yeah, we are the earth. And there's so many ways besides like just drink your water and eat the grass or whatever. Make plants.
Yep.
Don't eat grass.
The-
Don't
the
eat.
earth
Don't
is
eat.
Please don't be goat.
Hank Green told you don't eat grass. He said
Okay,
don't eat
farming,
grass.
farming. Okay, eat your stuff that you farm or
veggies.
stuff like that. There's so many other ways that the earth provides us energy, which also is another form of self-care.
Yeah,
You know, and it's like,
absolutely.
I didn't even know. I just thought the dirt was like, you go play in the dirt, you
Well,
know?
think about like even if you're like a Christian looking at this, is if all creation is blessed by God, then literally all creation is blessed by God, and it
Yeah.
has spiritual meaning to it, and it has spirit to it. Everything is created by God, including us. So therefore, we all have meaning and purpose. And so, dirt, sand, water. Well, I don't like the sand because it's coarse and it's rough.
Grainy gets
Grainy.
everywhere.
It makes your
Yeah, it
feet
gets everywhere.
soft.
Yeah, it's exfoliating.
Yeah. Come on,
That's another
self-care.
generational gap there. This was a Star Wars thing, and it both just
Wait,
missed it.
right over your
Oh.
head.
I've literally even I've seen all the Star Wars. as
No,
well.
I've watched them all once.
Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
That's right.
Anakin Skywalker.
Talking to Padme.
I don't like sand. It's coarse, irritating. It gets everywhere. Not like this place. It's soft.
Smooth.
It's nice.
That was
I have no
weird.
words.
All right, let's move on. So, given the current political climate, how do you feel like, or think a lot of Gen Zers think about the future of America? What do you guys think about what is to come? Because I personally, I feel like it's going to get a little bit rougher for the next 10, 15 years, but then after that, I have a lot of
Everything's
hope.
going to end.
I just want a revolution.
If everything doesn't die within the next 10 years, I feel like because of you guys, things are going to be better.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I saw this TikTok. We keep bringing up TikTok, but I saw this TikTok, and it was like this theory of like every 250 years, there's like something like some sort of
Oh, yeah, republics can't last longer than like 200 years.
something like that. And so
getting
America
there.
is reaching that point. And I'm like, yes, make it end. Like, make it stop. And like, I don't know. I'm just, yeah,
So
it's
what
weird.
is your plan for the revolution then? Are you going to fight in it? Are you going to go
Yes,
somewhere?
absolutely.
Are you gonna... All right, cool.
I'm gonna fight it out.
I'm here for it.
If I die in the process, it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
It's meant to happen.
Okay.
Wow.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I love protests and I love fighting for what's right, but I hate politics and I hate the government and I hate
It's all
anything that
man-made.
has to do with this chaotic system that we praise so much.
Yeah.
I hate it. So I literally choose not to think about it. I don't keep
Sometimes
up with
being
it.
Ignorant is like a problem.
Yes, valid. And I understand that. But at the end of the day, some of it is just so much back and forth and there's no like resolution to the problem. It's just, we're going to bicker about this problem.
Now, see,
and then
a lot of that stuff though isn't even politics. It's like human rights.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which shouldn't even
It
be
shouldn't
argued.
be political,
Yeah.
but
it is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
It's just chaotic and I
Yeah.
hate
Yeah.
it so much. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how we're going to fix it. Obviously it does need to be fixed.
Like when
but-
it comes to like the actual political things like taxes and like war and things like that.
war
those-
is stupid.
yes. Anyways.
How are we not past war already? Like as a society.
Literally. It's those kinds of things are like the things that I don't really pay too much attention to. Like those are the politics that get on my nerves because I'm like, why are we still, like you said, like why is this still like a thing?
Yeah.
But like the human rights thing, like those are the ones that make me mad because
Yes.
I'm like,
Oh yeah.
why is it up for debate? Like,
Yeah.
why is this even being talked about?
Oh yeah.
Still, like to this day, like we've been arguing about this stuff, you know, equal rights and, you know, racism and all of these different things for years. And it's like, why are we still
Centuries.
talking about it? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
can we just move on? Like, I think people just like to argue now. Like
Yeah.
it's you're just being racist and stupid for no reason. Like you just like to be like that.
There's no reason for you to
No,
think that way.
like we've given them so many like alternatives, so much education, so
Yeah.
many like opportunities to say, hey, you should probably hop on this train. But they're like, no, we're just gonna be stupid, and I'm over it. Like,
Well,
can't.
here's what I'll say behind this, and this is the reason why your generation gives me so much hope is because prior to y'all generation, I feel like everyone tried to convince everyone through stats and whatever that, hey, this is how you should believe or think. And I was that kind of person. Like
he was that kind of person.
I was that kind of person.
Oh my God, he was that kind of person.
And even up to my first few years in college, I still had that same kind of concept of how I view the world of I need to convince someone this or they need to convince me otherwise. But what ended up helping me change so much wasn't stats or information or whatever. It was people caring about the things seriously and people like Chris walking through with me and being patient with me and helping me see what needs to happen instead of trying to convince me about it. Now, granted, we had conversations about things, but like it wasn't Chris is like had an argument one day and that just changed everything about my life and viewpoint. But I feel like y'all's generation specializes in caring about people and actually doing things for people, and that changes people, and that and so that's why I see it as a hopeful change.
To me, it sounds like that revival the boomers have been praying for.
Amen, brother.
so
Amen.
okay, off topic, but it's kind of on topic. So did we create the cancel culture, or did you guys?
Christians kind of did it
Ooh.
first.
Whoa. Of course, it's the Christians.
No, I'm dead
daggum
serious.
Christians.
You go back to anything like in the 80s and 90s. If it had rock and roll,
Yep.
yeah.
Canceled.
Cancel.
Prohibition,
Cancel.
if you will.
Target, cancel. Starbucks, when they did the wrong cup, cancel. I mean, I
Yeah.
can go on and
Yeah.
on. So
They just don't like it because it affects them now.
Jinkies.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
You know, I hate cancel culture, though. That's another thing that's strange to me. I get it on certain times, but like, I don't know. Like, it's more like what you were saying. Like, how are people going to change if we just cancel them? You know, like, if we just like, okay, you're done, goodbye. They're not going to be by our side to be able to learn like how to change, I guess. Does that make sense? You know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say? And I know there are certain like circumstances where I'm like, no, this is just canceled. Like, no, you're canceled. This makes no sense. But at the end of the day, if everybody's just canceling everybody, how are things going to get fixed?
I think it has been politicized, and put into something that it's not. It's one thing if, and I'll just give Dr. Seuss an example. Dr. Seuss is its own, or whatever the corporate, what's the corporation for, it's not.
Don't ask me, bro. You know I don't know that.
The family, the corporation that owns Dr. Seuss and all of its rights and everything, they chose to look at their books that they own and go, hey, there are things in here that are insensitive and honestly quite
the man
racist.
wrote like 1,000 books and they pulled 6 of them.
Right. They chose to
And
take out their own
his
stuff.
estate.
And so what happened was the right-wing news and everything said, oh, look, it's cancel culture coming back. I'm like, but it's their stuff.
That
they
was
took it
valid.
out.
Yeah.
And so, what happened
Nobody's
is,
canceling Dr. Seuss. Like,
Right.
y'all
No.
are getting mad about it. We were like, yeah, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah.
You want to pull
moving
those 6
on.
books? Awesome. Moving on.
yeah.
Y'all are the ones dwelling on it.
So I don't think cancel culture is a problem. I think people thinking it's a problem is a problem. Like, not you. Like, I mean, like, making it an issue without it
Like
having
a
to be
big
an
deal.
issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay to recognize something that you've done for the longest time and say, hey, you know what? This isn't the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Let's change it and move on with life. You good?
Yeah.
It's a mental illness. And they're like, it's all in your head. Yeah, that's where mental illness is.
But like one more thing on cancel culture. I think it's more like canceling people that bothers me more than like
I get that.
canceling things.
I get
You
that.
know?
I think, and I feel that I do, and the reason why I agree with you on that is because I feel like people could have canceled me a long time ago, as they probably should have. But I feel like I wouldn't have gotten to where I am today if I didn't have some grace and some mercy, which Chris has obviously shown me a lot of. And so I get what you're saying with that, but I also believe that what you're saying is happening is being blown out of proportion. And so it feels like everyone is being canceled when it's not.
It's also just a matter of some people are just getting tired of trying to educate and explain to
Well, that's
people.
very true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
Yes.
why don't you just know this at this rate? Like, we've been talking about this forever. Why
Look,
are you not grasping the
I-
concept?
Choosing to be stupid, yeah.
I've been on Facebook since high school, like over 10 years. And
Me too. I was 11.
I've never once blocked or unfriended anybody until this year. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been black for too long. I've been native for too long. And I've been trying to tell you my experiences. You don't care to learn.
Yeah.
Delete.
There's
Yeah.
no
For
point
sure.
in
I don't
trying.
have to subject myself to this anymore.
Correct.
And that's another thing that I've learned from Gen Z is like, if it's not edifying who I am as a person,
You don't,
I don't have to be
need
there.
it. Yup.
Yep. Straight up.
Facts. Facts. No
Straight
printer.
up.
All right, guys, we've been talking for an hour, so I'm just going to end up with one final question for you guys. What do you guys feel like are some of the biggest challenges facing you and your generation, and what are some of the awesome things that you see that are coming up?
I would say maybe things. Wait, what was the first bit?
Biggest challenges.
Challenges. Our own generation. Because even though we seem like a generation who's willing to come together and try and make a difference, we still have our differences. And some people aren't as willing to try and make that change. So I guess it's like we're sometimes our own evil, I guess. But I definitely do think we have the ability to change that with generations perhaps dying off. But that's a different story. Anyways, moving on.
I mean, you're not wrong.
And then just, I think, what was it? Benefits?
And just some of the good things that you see, some of the positives that you see that you're looking forward to or you already are noticing.
That we
I thought of
have
something that's
been
kinda mean.
like doing like changes, I guess, like the
Yeah.
protests
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
good.
like that, and things on social media, and like creating more what's the word?
Buzz.
I guess around certain like topics and like trying to educate people
Yeah.
because there was no previous discussion on those topics.
Bringing awareness.
And also just trying to remind people to start those topics and conversations at home.
Yeah, that's
Because that's really, at the end of the day, that's where it starts, because you can't fix the world without changing what's happening.
For sure.
at
period.
home.
Love it.
Got anything, T?
I think it's just nice to see for a benefit. You talked about this in the way beginning of this this topic, was like the mixture of like ethnicities in a person. I really love that. Just because growing up that was really stressful for me.
Yes.
And so now that there's more people like that, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, that there are people to relate to and talk to and are on your side. You know, it's not such a confusing thing anymore. You know, we're moving forward from that. You know, it's not like pick and choose or, you know, here's how you're going to be. It's more like, no, this is who I am. Please listen to me. This is how this is my story, basically. So I enjoy that about Gen Z. And problems, are not a problem, but cons, I guess, I don't know. Honestly.
There are no cons. We're the best. Mic drop.
We're the winners.
All right. Well, hey, guys, that was a really great conversation. Before we end this and before we move on to the rest of everything, where can people follow you and just kind of see what you're up to? And if you want to share that information, but just follow you anywhere on the internet.
Okay. Well, my Instagram is, I need to change my username. Jesus Christ.
I like it.
But it's what? Harley. W-U-T. Harley. The most common spelling, like Harley Quinn, Harley Davidson. So that's my Instagram. And then my TikTok.
Come on.
I don't even know.
Just say it.
Is harleybean.co. Because my last name's Bianco, so it's that's what you did there. I'm not a company. I am a individual. So.
Is it .co or .ko then?
.co. Because I thought that would be cooler to be perceived as a company.
It is kind of cool.
T, how about you?
I'm here for it.
My Instagram and TikTok are both Tierra Nikel. Nikel is spelled with a Q. So
NyQuil.
I will literally spell it out. TIERA_NIQELLE. And that's it. I don't post on TikTok though, but I'm trying to get better at it.
Yeah, I've only posted like 4 things and like 3 of them about my daughter. So
I just don't think I'm a funny person.
You are a funny person.
Chris
Okay,
needs
but
to
when I
step up his game
purposely
because
try
I
to
know
be
he would
funny,
be good
it's
at it
not
once he got
funny
into it.
anymore.
Look, I should start posting on TikTok.
I think
should.
you should.
You could like make us famous just with your own personal account.
We should
Absolutely.
all challenge each other to start posting more on TikTok.
All right.
Harley's winning right now, but
I have, how many followers do I have? I'm going to
Quit,
boast
don't
real
show
quick.
off.
More than 6.
At least. There's
I think I have 6.
I have 148,
Nice.
I've never posted
winner.
anything.
but I have 3,000 likes, almost 4,000 likes.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
I don't know what any of that means. I'm not a social media guy.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
All right, guys, we're going to be right back with our next segment. Harley, Tierra, thank you for that fun conversation about Gen Z.
yeah,
Up next, a whole bunch of other crazy stuff.
vibes.
Let's go.
Just vibes.
Hey guys, this is Tim and Chris from the Always More podcast. Thank you so much for subscribing, following, rating, liking, commenting, and asking us questions. If you haven't done any of those, you're wrong and you need to.
Oh my gosh, Chris, chill. Okay, well, seriously, thank you guys so much for those who have donated to the podcast by giving at buymeacoffee.com in our link in our show notes, and it really just helps us like spend more time to creating a better content for you guys to listen to, and to also just help feed our caffeine addiction.
Which we definitely do have. It's actually a real problem for us.
It is.
It's destroying our families.
It's horrible. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Back to the show.
Welcome back from our break. I don't know if we're actually going to put that commercial in there, but
We are.
okay, cool.
It's already in there.
Welcome back from our commercial. You guys already listened to it, so you loved it. Great. That's what I love to hear. All right. So first, before we get back, we just want to give a shout out to some of the people that have liked and reviewed us on Apple Podcast, starting with Jameer Parker.
DeMarcus.
DeMarcus.
Love that guy.
I
Yeah.
miss
He's
DeMarcus.
such a cool guy.
Is he still in the area?
Yeah.
We need to hang out.
Wait, is he here, like locally?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Bummer.
I know.
DeMarcus, let us know. We'll hang out. And then Lil Gibbs 97, which is Dalton Gibbs, one of my favorite people on the planet. Gibby.
Gibby.
I love it. Like I'm sure you guys have seen iCarly.
Yes.
Like I pulled the name from there. That's like a generational name for him because his last name is Gibbs, but him, his brother, his dad, they've all been Gibby. And I love just shouting out whenever I see him in public, Gibby! I even type it out sometimes when I'm like texting him or like messaging on Facebook or whatever. Gibby! So that's always nice.
Nice.
So thanks for the
Love
reviews,
anything.
guys.
Thanks.
We're going to go ahead and get into our next subjects, starting with hashtag Ask Chris and Tim.
Hey.
Do we have a sound for that one?
No.
We need to get a sound. We need a sound for all of these.
I'm working on it, bro.
I know. As long as they're free, we're good. Because again, we have no money. We are very small, and we have no money. Independent podcast, mostly. So, Jessica, your wife, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Jessica.
Okay, good.
We know, like,
no, the reason why.
We know like 28 Jessicas. It was a very popular name for
Yeah,
millennials.
and Jessica Hayes had asked us a few questions, I think a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't write the last name in there.
It was just Jessica.
And so he said, my wife, like, yeah, I think so. And so it wasn't. It was Jessica Hayes. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
So your wife this time
This is my
asks,
wife.
what kind of bear is best?
Gummy.
Whoa!
Yes!
Nice. Did not enter my head.
Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, basically, there are two schools of thought on this.
For real, polar bears.
Oh.
They're big. They're awesome. They live in the Arctic.
They're white.
Chris,
Is that what you were about to say, Tim?
I was not going to say that. Isn't their skin
Aren't
darker?
they like? Wait, they're like kind of yellow though. They're not
No,
white.
their
white.
actual skin is like black.
Yeah.
Yeah, their skin's black, but their fur is like yellow.
Well, because it gets dirty.
Okay.
I don't know how fur works. Don't even let me begin to try to tell you I know how fur works. I thought they were like white all the way through. Like their fur, their skin, their muscle.
Intestines, all that.
I thought they had like white blood.
White bear.
Make me bleed my own blood.
My favorite bear, Pooh. Pooh Bear.
Good. That's a good one.
Winnie the Pooh. Best bear.
He just wears a crop
He's the
top
best
and
bear.
eats honey.
Dude,
Arya
he's so
asked to watch
cute.
that today.
We watched
Oh.
it last night with Ellie, and she loved it.
That was
Body
my favorite
positivity
growing up,
right there.
actually.
All right.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
You
can
don't have
say
one?
grizzly.
I think I agree with Gummy Loki.
Gummy.
High key.
Okay.
Loki hikey.
Gummy bear.
Next question. Our friend Jordan asked, what's your favorite season and seasoning?
Ooh.
That's a great question.
I think for me, my favorite season is spring.
Yes.
Because I live in Texas, summer gets too hot. If I lived somewhere else, it would be summer. But I like the not being cold aspect.
Yep.
Yeah, amen.
So that's my thing. My favorite seasoning, probably really difficult decision. Truthfully, I like salt and pepper the way my wife does it. I like paprika. I think, you got to come back to me on this one. This is
I
difficult.
feel like you're going to have the most complex answer to this compared to the rest of us
So
because
A
of your
teaspoon
wife.
of this.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's not just like one seasoning that I like. I like the combinations of seasonings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like herbs specifically. Like one of my go-to herb combos is basil, bay leaf, and oregano. I love mixing those three together with like sautéed meat and then throwing that on top of rice.
Pasta.
Throwing a little peppers. One of my favorite things to do, I like cooking with onion and then taking the onion out of the meal.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Like I like my food to feel like it kissed an onion, but I don't like
Just
to
a
eat
small peck.
onions.
Agreed.
You know,
I like eating onions.
That's-
Only cooked ones
that's my
though.
thing.
I'm just a white guy who likes salt.
Valid.
I don't pay attention to it
Tim
really.
said my favorite seasoning is flour.
I would agree with you on I hate being cold, so my favorite is summer. I don't mind the heat at all. I'd rather be hot than cold. That's
Oh,
mine.
for sure.
Same. I
For
agree.
sure.
Springtime all the way, guys.
I like fall.
Ooh.
I'm a fall gal.
Oh,
but I
those
like
hoodies.
Hoodies
yeah.
are fun.
I like to go into the cold, sort of. But I only when you reach that like specific fall weather where it's like the 60s and then go back up. Let's bring it back to hot.
Yeah.
So the consensus is we're just gonna get rid of winter.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we could,
All right.
if we could just
Agreed.
be fall and spring all year round.
Oh my gosh, life would be so
Just-
good.
it's
We
like
just
a-
need to move like 3 miles away from the sun.
North.
Would that work?
I don't know.
Oh, you mean the whole planet?
Like the whole planet. If we
Oh.
just
I
like
was
take it
like,
and just
what?
move it during
I was
the
like,
summer.
I don't think I can go
and then,
inward.
And then 6 miles closer, like just like that 3 mile bounce. Like during winter we're closer and during summer we're further away.
Well,
as
that's
a
because
planet.
we tilt, right?
Well, right. But you want to learn from Dr. Tyson is that the Earth is actually furthest away from the sun during our summer, North America's summer.
what?
Yeah. So like it's like I can't remember the exact science behind it, but like even the South American summer, they're a little bit closer to the sun compared to us. So like our winters are colder than their winters, and our summers are hotter than their summers.
Wow.
because of our distance.
That's
And actually,
inconvenient.
it's today, the day that we're recording, July 5th, is the day that we're the furthest away from the sun. Or
Wow.
closest to.
Closest to
Oh.
the sun.
The more you know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's time for our next topic. Chris,
I'm ready for it.
are you ready for it?
Let's
You
do
gonna
this.
unlock your
Hold on.
phone? You ready for it?
I gotta unlock it.
All right, it is time.
Things I've learned from the internet.
I made it shorter.
No,
I noticed.
That was amazing.
no, that was poetic.
That was unpracticed too.
Why
We didn't
isn't
practice
that
that at
like-
all. I didn't even know that you made it shorter. So that was just really good, like timing.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Come on.
Amazing.
This is what happens when you guys find a best friend and you just stick with that one best friend for decades.
Yeah.
Literal decades.
Decades.
Wow.
Chris, you start.
All right, so things I've learned from the internet. I'm going to stick with my original one.
Yeah.
Alexander the Great may not have been a man.
Good.
Please explain.
Okay, so there's really no proof outside of more recent discoveries that Alexander the Great was a man. All of the stories that we have are second, third, and fourth generation retellings by people who historically have hated women, by other cultures that didn't want to give women priority.
As is most ancient writings.
Yes.
Yes. So Alexander the Great's father, Philip, I believe it was.
Philip.
Philip of Macedonia. His grave is the second biggest grave in that area, his tomb. There was one found much larger that they have not given specific credit to that a lot of people believe was Alexander the Great's tomb. But the main burial there was actually a 60-year-old woman. Not like a super huge woman, either, just like a 60-year-old average build for that time woman,
Yeah.
and two 30-year-old men. So Alexander the Great not only was a nana, Alexandra the Great, but she was pulling some pretty young tail.
Oh wait,
Whoa.
I thought Alexander was buried in Alexandria, Egypt.
No, they don't actually have the exact.
Well, I thought because once
Location.
the library burned down, so didn't all that stuff get destroyed?
That's a great question.
I don't know. This is something I learned from the internet. I haven't done the research.
Is
so
it true?
Don't at
Nobody-
me.
Nobody knows.
Don't at me. But what I learned from the internet is that there is a school of thought that Alexander the Great is a woman.
Okay.
I would be
Not
all for
necessarily
that.
that he or she was a woman,
Yeah.
but that there is a thought that it is. I'm here for it.
I'm down. Yeah.
I would love that for women everywhere. Like feminism
For all women.
Yeah,
Women
I would-
everywhere.
I would love that because like Alexander the Great is like the greatest conqueror in history.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh, I'm going to be Alexander the Great when it comes
macho,
to this."
yeah.
If Alexander the Great was actually Alexandra the Great, do you know how many people would just be like, "Ah." They wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't know what to do, and I love that.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. My things I learned on the internet. There are only 25 blimps in the entire world.
What?
25. You would think like blimps. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Well,
like,
I mean-
like.
Not after the Hindenburg.
Oof.
Well, I mean, even then, like that was one.
Is that why
fluke.
there's only 25? Because the rest of them went up in flames.
But even then, like you've seen like on like NFL games and like NASCAR, like they have that. What is the main
The
one?
Goodyear blimp.
Goodyear.
Oh.
Yeah, you would think like, oh,
And
yeah.
it read Ice Cube's a pimp.
What?
What?
It was a good day. Ice Cube? No? Nobody? Nobody?
What are you talking about?
Culture yourselves,
Jordan,
guys.
Jordan understands.
Jordan.
You got me, Jordan. Jordan's got me. Okay. Ice Cube, the actor from 21 Jump Street, as you would know him.
I know. Who he is.
He's a rapper
Yes,
initially
I
from
know that.
NWA. One of the songs that he put
Oh.
out was "It Was a Good Day," and that
Oh.
was one of the lines. I saw the lights on the Goodyear blimp, and it read "Ice Cube's a pimp."
Oh, okay.
There's some other
Nice.
words in there that I don't want to say on a.
Valid.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go.
Anyways, I thought it was just a fun little fact. Like you would assume, like, yeah, in the entire world, like, hey, you know what? You would think, like, France, you got a couple, Germany's got a few. No, there's 25 in the entire world.
I think we're better off that way.
Yeah.
If we have too many blimps,
There's too many blimps out
That'd be
there.
so chaotic.
I feel like there would be a ruckus.
A ruckus.
in the sky.
ruckus.
There's a show on Netflix, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt,
Yes.
where they talk about blimping everywhere.
Ah.
It's like, yeah, we'll,
why
we'll
would
be
that be a
blimping.
problem?
We'll be blimping in sometime between 2 and 6. Just put out the giant net so we can land. Because you can't control a blimp. It's basically a balloon.
Yeah. They're just very scary, unpredictable. Hindenburg.
But so are hot air balloons.
Wow.
Those things are everywhere.
Are there?
I mean, you don't see them everywhere, but like they're
They're
more
like in Europe.
I want to go
That's
on one of those.
No, I actually went to a balloon festival in Salina, Texas. And weirdly enough, there were no balloons. It was like the day was too windy, so none of the balloons could launch.
Oh.
But it was supposed to be a hot air balloon festival. So there was like music and food and games, but no balloons.
So everybody's just walking around.
You just look at them.
We're just like, oh, that would have been cool.
Oh man, Harley, what you got for us?
So mine's a little bit longer than everybody else's. But have you ever heard of like the dog days of like summer? Like there's literally a whole Wimpy Kid book, literally called like Dog Days.
Completely over my head.
It's like the
Really?
worst days
Yeah.
of summer.
Never, like they're the hottest days, terrible, awful. Everybody's gonna swelter and die.
Yeah.
So basically, that's between like the weeks of like July 3rd and like the beginning of August.
So right now.
Yes, we are in it. We are currently in the dog days.
Thank you, Florence and the Machine.
Whoa.
The dog days of please, come on, you know that song?
No.
No.
Whoa, Chris!
Very good.
That's definitely our white side.
As the two white people don't even know it. Anyways. But those days are named after the dog star Sirius because I guess it's super visible in the sky. But the Greeks, as always, as they do, they tend to blame things for all of their problems. So they blamed it on him. And they're like, that's the reason why everybody's dying and having heat strokes. So it's all Sirius. Yeah.
Fun fact. Interesting.
Good to know. Good to
Yes.
know. All right.
Darn you, Sirius.
Tiara, what you got?
Okay, mine's kind of lame. I actually learned it like a week ago. So salads, right? You know how, okay, I don't know what the bottom part of the salad is, but it's really hard. It holds all the leaves together. And the
You talking about a piece
lettuce?
of lettuce, or you talking about?
lettuce. Yeah, lettuce to make a salad.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
whatever the base is called. What is
Yeah.
that called, Chris?
The root.
Why don't you know this?
It's not the
Question mark?
root.
Because I'm not a salad
head?
person.
Is it the
The
bud?
head?
The bud?
I don't know.
Or the
I thought it was
head?
called the head of the
I
lettuce.
thought it was
No, the head is the whole top.
thing is
Oh.
the head. Anyways, if you cut that random hard circular piece off, that's usually like brown, you cut it off and then you soak the ends that you just like the fresh cut part in cold water.
You can sprout it.
Okay, no, but probably, but that's
No.
not the point of it. It makes your lettuce crispier. So when you have a salad, it has an extra crunch to it.
That's probably something my wife is like, I've been telling you this for years. And I'm just like, yeah, probably.
No more flimsy lettuce, guys.
Nice.
I
That's
eat a
cool.
salad literally when my wife makes salad. Other than that, I will
Valid.
never
Same.
ask for a
I
salad.
don't have a wife,
I will
actually.
never order a salad.
I'll be your wife. Nice. Well, no. Sorry, Jordan.
Oh, you're already engaged. Anyways, but I actually don't like the white lettuce. Wow.
Romaine?
Wait. Yes, I don't like that lettuce. I like
Iceberg.
my leafy,
Iceberg is iceberg. Romaine is the green one.
Yeah, I
The
like the
leafy
leafy
one.
kind that's
She
like
likes
sort of
romaine.
Oh,
munch.
you don't like iceberg.
It's
okay.
iceberg.
No, I don't like it when
Iceberg's kind of lame.
when it go
low-key.
munch. Mm-mm.
Come on.
I don't know what I like.
You
Tim
don't like
just eats
salad.
whatever's in front of him.
I love salad, so
Tim's like, what's vegetables?
Yeah.
Anything that we can eat that is a plant. That's
My
what a
food
vegetable is.
eats your food.
wait, is a tomato a vegetable or a fruit, guys?
It's a fruit.
It's fruit. Has seed.
Fruit.
Okay. What about cucumbers? Though they have
Also
Vegetable.
fruits.
they have
Oh,
seeds.
you're
though.
right.
Vegetables aren't real. We talked about this.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
God! Fun fact: this is gonna make it extra long. Sorry, but I learned from the internet. Carrots are not real vegetables.
They're roots.
Yeah.
Vegetables are not real.
No, you didn't listen to this
no,
episode.
but
Whoa.
I probably didn't.
We
Sorry,
talked about
We
this.
talked about this.
but they're actually like mutated, like
They're mutated roots.
Pretty much all of our food is mutated.
like tilapia, but in a
Nice.
vegetable.
Tilapia. Don't
Tilapia.
talk about the fish
Tilapias
like
are
that.
fake fish.
It's not mutated. It's genetically
GMO'd?
Yeah, it's genetically modified.
but pretty
Genetically
much
modified carrots, but bananas
They
are too.
breed them a specific
but
way.
all
for
of
that.
our food is that way though. Like literally, if you look at the origins of any of our fruits and vegetables, it doesn't look like how it like corn. It does not look. That is not how when people came over from the Americas to colonize and to ruin everything. That is not how corn looked like the way we see it today.
Or like
Yeah.
banana flavor that you find in candy nowadays is how real bananas are supposed to taste. Bananas that you eat nowadays that everybody's like, oh, that doesn't taste like banana. Those aren't real bananas.
Wow. That makes me
Interesting.
uncomfortable.
But I know there are places in the world where the fruits and vegetables are still like normal.
Places that we're not allowed to go.
were colonized. You know?
Yeah.
All right, it is now time for one of my favorite segments in the entire world. It is time for shower thoughts with Chris.
Do you guys think like birds poop on each other, like as a sign of dominance?
No, because birds are not real. They are definitely cameras from the government.
Oh, so you're in on it.
Yeah, I believe that birds are not real. They're so stupid.
Did you listen to our conspiracy theory episode?
No, guys.
Tiara, you're saying all these things that you would love if you listen to our podcast.
Okay, I'm on the podcast and I don't listen to the podcast. That's so embarrassing.
You two are so alike, you don't even realize it. If you listen to the podcast, you would hear all these
Oh,
amazing
what?
things.
Because I'm also half black.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh, it's always that. It's always
Every
that.
time. Every time.
SMH.
Every time.
It's
Come
okay.
on, man. I thought we were
It's
past
okay.
this. I thought
Yeah.
you were better than
We literally
this.
had a whole conversation about this.
Darn you, white man.
Hey, colonizer.
I can't argue. All right. I don't know. I think. Do they have poop wars?
I
Like-
think they do.
like monkeys.
They kind of just. Whoa.
Hey, who
I
can
don't
make the
think they
biggest
s-
splat on
They
this
don't
car?
schlong it at each other.
That's what they do.
But I definitely feel like, you know how they like, you see like build up of like bird poop?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like who
Oh,
can
like
build the
territory.
biggest. Yes. It's like claiming.
Or like, wait.
Like when dogs pee on
Yes,
things.
I was
Where-
just
yeah,
about to
yeah,
say
yeah, yeah.
that. When
Where
dogs
it's
like
like, oh,
pee for dominance.
I pooped
Yeah.
on that car. That's my car. And some other bird's like, not today. I like that car.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's disgusting. I hate birds.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't.
They make me uncomfortable.
Well, good for you. They're all dead.
They are all cameras.
Yeah, the
We are
government-
getting
the
spied
government
on by
genocided
FBI.
all the
You were worried
birds.
about Siri? No, let's talk about these birds, okay?
Siri.
Siri is just level 1 spy, but if we want to be top tier, birds.
Birds.
Cats. Did you guys hear?
Don't talk about cats.
No,
I just saw
wanna
a
know.
bird.
They know. They're listening.
But what about cats?
I read, I don't remember, this was a long time ago, so it's going to be a little rusty, but there was like this science experiment where cats were used to like try to spy on one of the different countries we were like going to war against or whatever. And they put a bunch of cameras like on cats or in cats, something like that.
In cats.
Yeah, and they let the cats loose to spy on their enemies. But the whole experiment failed because the first cat that they tested like got ran over in like 2 seconds. So they canceled the entire experiment.
Wow.
I heard about that. There's a lot more to it, but you could talk about that maybe next time because
The
it
only-
was really interesting.
I can't talk about. The only cat I like is their cat, Chris's Nell's cat. That's the only cat I like.
I have
Yeah.
a cat.
I like kittens.
He's a Russian spy.
And then they get old. He's a Russian spy. His eyes are pretty.
My cat has thumbs.
Really?
When we got
What are those called? They're like
polydactyl.
yes.
Yeah, when Janelle got her from the shelter, her name was Mittens, so we call that her slave name. So we call her Milo now.
Jesus.
It's fine. It's fine.
I hope only you call her that.
Nobody calls her Mittens.
Okay.
Nobody calls her Mittens.
I'm going to call her Mittens. Will that offend you?
Whenever somebody's like, "Oh, that's your cat," it's like she's got little mittens. We're like, we don't say that. That's
Oh man,
so. There you go. Shout out to Milo.
Cute.
guys, it's been an episode.
Yeah.
It is a long episode. It's a good episode.
We're gonna have to cut a lot out.
It's okay.
I'm just gonna cut you out.
That's fine.
Did we do a good
You like
job?
crop the video too?
Absolutely, you guys are amazing.
You
guests.
gonna let
Thank
us
you
do
so
it
much.
again?
Yes.
Probably
Yay.
not.
Hey, we
I gotta do y'all after Jordan because Jordan's like giving me glares over here as he sits on my couch.
Jordan
and-
wants to be in this so bad. Come be in the cameo. Oh, okay.
He said, "I'll make my own episode."
Tiara, Harley, thank you so much for being on the episode. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and your experiences and opinions and all the above.
Fake
So,
birds.
thank you.
This is fun.
Also,
Well
go
done.
back and watch that or listen to that episode.
The conspiracy one?
Yeah.
I probably will. I like conspiracies.
I listened to that one. That one was good.
Yeah, thank you.
Had a
You're
blast.
welcome. Cool.
Chris, as always, I love you.
I love you.
It's been a thing.
Harley,
It's been real.
I love you.
Tiara, I love you.
I love you more.
I love you most.
Gosh, stop it. You win.
Chris, what am I thinking of?
Tacos.
Tacos. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
let's
right,
go get
guys.
tacos.
We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Always More podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, share, like, and rate on whatever your platform of preference is. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Always More Pod and ask your question using hashtag AskChrisandTim. If you'd like to support the podcast and feed into Chris and Tim's caffeine addiction, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/alwaysmorepod. For further information and to contact Chris or Tim, you can email them at alwaysmorepodcast@gmail.com.